Story wrestling fans, who is Sting coming for? Inner Circle splitting soon? Kenny Omega leaving AEW with the title. All that and more coming up on the Wrestle Story. Welcome back to the Wrestle Story. We discuss all things wrestling, the legends of the past, the superstars of the present, the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday after Raw, every Wednesday after AEW, and every Friday after SmackDown.
What is that?
John Elite, starring John. How's it going?
How are y'all?
Like the vid. Good thing.
Doing?
Because if you didn't... Oh, I didn't put them on here again.
Whoops. Well, once they're on there, you're all good. Hey guys, what is up? How's it going? We are talking about AEW. How is everybody doing? Dun, 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 dun. So,
I like how when I search it, it just comes up now. If you have not liked the video, the Wild Samoans tell you, like that.
Like the video.
Smash the like button right now.
Do it.
Or else. They will hunt you
or
down.
Else. Hi.
How's it going, everybody? Hello, John Allen.
Hello, guys.
Bring sure to happen on NXT. It started with the name Ice Cream, Ice Cream. We all scream for ice cream.
Cool.
The Schwan Man showed up.
I haven't seen NXT. I'll watch that. Are we doing that tomorrow?
The ice cream truck showed up.
Are we doing that tomorrow?
Yes, I just got to figure out what time exactly.
We're gonna do
NXT UK
tomorrow and NXT UK.
I didn't watch NXT at all, but who cares? I'm pretty sure
nothing
nothing big happened. I'm doing good. How are you guys? I liked AEW tonight. How you doing, Watchable Marker?
I did too. I also liked AEW. I thought it was good. I think there's a couple things on the show that I'm just a bit what are we doing with this? And I just have some questions. But other than that, I thought it was a good show.
Yes, I thought this was a solid show. I thought there was a lot happened tonight. A lot was said tonight without saying a whole lot.
Yeah, I agree.
AEW is good. I agree.
Should we just get into it?
We should just get into it. Yes.
All right. So, we start the show off with Young Bucks. Promo backstage, and they invite. This was like taped earlier, or whatever. They cut a promo, and they were talking about their match with TH2, and then they talked about hearing from Kenny Omega, and they were like, well, we haven't heard anything from him. We haven't talked to him, like, in a couple weeks, and so we don't know what he's doing. We don't know what's happening with him.
Nobody knows what's happening with him.
So,
except for me. So stick around, because I'm going to tell you what's happening with Kenny Omega.
Is it me, or did Sting look, like, happy? Like, he seemed really happy to be there on TNT and AEW. Yeah, man, I'm going to talk about it.
Starring John, he was happy because he had a little bit of the bubbly in the back before he came out.
I'm going to talk about that because I was really happy with that segment. So we get the Young Bucks versus TH2. This is actually a really good match.
Yes.
Like, I thought this was a really good way to start the show, and, like, they don't put TH2 out there that much, but I think they should.
Well, I haven't been a huge fan of them. I've watched them a couple times on Dark, and I haven't been a huge fan. I'm still going to have to watch them more just to kind of get a feel for it, but I feel that they have potential.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard, though, with all of the tag teams that they have.
Yeah.
I feel Kenny Omega said the same thing from last night.
I'm going to talk about it, dude.
Starring John, I feel there was a little more to it. I felt like a kid again when Tony and Sting was in the ring. Me too. Especially when they hugged and gave each other a kiss.
I'm gonna talk about it. Guys, because, like, I don't know. It was just...
In the words of Chris Jericho, a little bit of the bubbly.
Yes. Definitely.
You don't like it, Angelica, Mr. G? What did he say? No, I haven't been a huge fan of theirs.
I don't mind them, actually. I feel like they just haven't had enough time on television, on Dark, on whatever, to kind of get their stuff across. I think they're really talented, like, phenomenal wrestlers. I just feel like the gimmick, per se, I don't necessarily get what it is. And, like, the whole idea behind it. So I feel like I kind of want to see some more, like, maybe promo stuff from them just to sort of understand the gimmick.
Well, maybe that's what I need, is just to watch them more to kind of get a better feel for them. But, as a tag team, I'm just not, like... And maybe it's just because they have so many good tag teams. So that could be part of it.
This match was dope. The hybrids definitely killed it.
I thought it was definitely a good match.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Young Bucks have good matches with pretty much anybody. I think they can make pretty much anybody look good.
Jericho is getting way too fat and slow. That's because he's had a little bit too much of the bubbly.
Oh, man. So yeah, I don't know. I thought this was a really good match. I think that the Young Bucks, are great. I think that TH2 has some potential to be, where was I going with this? I think that TH2 has the potential to be, like, a big tag team in the division to, like, really help them out. Also, during this match, they sort of had a spot where, like, they threw, I don't remember if it was the Young Bucks or members of TH2, into the Acclaimed, who were sitting in the crowd. And then, at the end of the match, after the Young Bucks won, the Acclaimed were going to get in the ring and beat people up, but then SCU came out and sort of stopped them, and were like, no, we're not doing that. So, I'm assuming this is probably setting up a match between the Acclaimed and SCU. I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what
That's what this is for.
I think so.
And we'll probably see that on Dynamite in the next couple of weeks, which I'm cool with. I don't think I've seen the Acclaimed wrestle. I haven't watched any of their dark matches.
They're pretty good, too.
So, I don't really know what they're about. I liked their promo that they cut last week. I thought it was funny. And I think it came across well,
Yeah.
I mean, it was just kind of like a goofy thing.
Yeah.
So,
watch AEW Dark. There's really good matches that happen on there, and they've been on there a few times, if I remember right. Yes, they have. I actually watched them on AEW Dark. I think they put together good matches. I'm not, like, a huge fan of theirs. And maybe, like I said, maybe over time I'll become a little more of a fan of theirs. I have watched AEW Dark some. I haven't watched, not like weekly, but like I missed this week, so I haven't watched this week's. But I have watched it a couple times and seen the Hybrid 2 and the Acclaimed, and I told you Top Flight was going to be, like, outstanding. Mm-hmm. They were stars in the making.
Oh, cool.
The champion had way too much bubbly, and I mean way too much. Yes. Hello, James. How you doing?
What is up?
NXT was great tonight.
Oh, they did announce that later in the show. Sorry, my bad. I totally missed that.
Cool.
I missed that.
How bad does Cody want a match with Sting?
I guess we will have to find out.
I'm going to give you my thoughts here in just a little bit.
Next week, that's what's happening. It's SCU versus the Acclaimed, and Angelico is taking on Cody.
Yes.
Sweet! So yeah, really like this match. I thought it was good. Like I said, setting up the Acclaimed and SCU, I think that'll be a good match next week. I think that the Acclaimed are going to go over, just because I think that makes sense. I don't really think that SCU needs to get the dub.
I think it'll be the Acclaimed winning next week.
And I think that they're trying to push them for the tag titles.
Yes.
I was kind of like, okay, well, I think that Top Flight was going to be the one to take the tag team titles off of...
Here's what I think is going to happen, okay? They're going to push the Young Bucks out long enough to try and establish the Hybrid 2, the Acclaimed... Top Flight. And then the Young Bucks are going to go...
they could have a tournament.
Hey, just shh.
Sorry, I spoiled your idea. My
and then they're going to have the Young Bucks go, okay, which one is it, Matt, that's got the messed up knee?
Yeah.
They're going to say, well, Matt can't wrestle anymore. He has to, like, for the next, 6 months. It's not right for us to have the titles. We're going to put them up. And then they're going to announce a tag team tournament to see who is the champion.
Cool, I'd be cool with that.
Cross is back, and he killed Damian Priest. James?
You're not supposed to tell us this stuff.
James?
You're not supposed to tell us this stuff. We're watching NXT tomorrow, bro.
Yes!
What the heck?
We're doing a show tomorrow. James?
Man. Imagine Private Party versus The Acclaimed.
That'd be interesting.
They have some really, like, their tag team division is so good.
Yes, definitely.
There's no getting around it. Like, they have the best tag team division around. No comparison to anybody else whatsoever. Like, they have the best tag team wrestling because they have people in charge of it. They have people in charge of it who are passionate about tag team wrestling, and that's what they do. And they can put on these great matches and do these amazing stories, whereas other companies aren't doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't...
Agree. Oops, sorry.
We're all watching NXT tomorrow! Man, everybody's going after James.
James, no spoilers, man. I just haven't watched NXT, my dude.
Oh, man.
And then Starring John comes back with James. In the words of Jericho, just shut your mouth, stupid idiot. Just kidding, James. All love.
Man, it's all good, dude. It's all good. But we're gonna do an NXT show tomorrow. We're doing NXT and NXT UK tomorrow afternoon. It'll literally be like we're streaming all week. The only day we don't have a stream is Saturday.
Yes, I think we should stream as we watch NXT UK. We'll do a live show with NXT UK, and then just go right into our NXT recap.
Cool. Works.
Sound good?
Way to go, James. You weren't supposed to say anything.
Good job, James!
It's all good, dude. It's all good.
We're all gonna hunt you down now, James!
Oh, man. So yeah,
I hope you don't mind having a lot of people at your house.
So we have MJF promo next, and he's talking about how he does not like Orange Cassidy, and he's better than us and we know it. And I think this is just a short, sweet, simple, to the point MJF promo.
Yes.
Something to keep him relevant, keep him on the show till he has his match.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. We then have Darby Allen. This segment was good. I really enjoyed this, and I thought this is really like a fun way to do this.
Yes. I thought this was excellent. I love... Darby Allen does excellent with these, and I love the whole ink blot thing.
What's this attack, James?
James, we've officially decided to name December 9th as Attack James Day. So every December 9th,
oh man,
it's going to be Attack James Day.
I stream every day this week. Wrestle Story with reliable reviews this week. Oh man.
We try.
We try. So Darby Allen is responding to these ink blots. And so we have a whole bunch of these ink patterns that this dude is showing him, and they are all in the shape of like the Team Tazz characters. Team Tazz characters? Team Tazz people. They're not characters. I mean, they are characters, but they're human beings. Anyways. So they're all in the shape of like the Team Tazz, right? So he shows him one that's Will Hobbs. He shows him one that's Ricky Starks. And he shows him one that is Brian Cage. And he says that, he's had some issues with Brian Cage and Ricky Starks and Team Tazz and all this stuff over the last several weeks. And Brian Cage, let's have a match one-on-one for the TNT Championship, you and me. And then to finish it off, the guy shows a picture of Sting. Sting ink blot. And Darby just sits there and he really doesn't say anything. He's just like... And then we go back to the show. I love these subtle little hints of this stuff. I think they're so well done. And, like, they're not over the top and in your face of, like, this is what we're doing. Because they have a lot of different directions that they could go in.
I have a different thought on what everybody's thinking, and I will tell you my thoughts once we get to the Sting part.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Cool.
James, I will send the Fiend to hunt you down, and you won't like what's next, says Johnny Lee. What happened to Zack Ryder?
He's not signed with AEW.
Well, and I think one of the things is AEW does a good job. They don't force their wrestlers out there all the time.
Yeah.
You get to see fresh new faces. I mean, yeah, you have your Young Bucks and Cody and things like that, but
majority of the time.
But even with them,
they're fighting different people every week. It's not like the same people.
And you don't always see them. You don't always necessarily see them on the show. Mm-hmm. Like, they may take next week off where you have one of them that's not there.
Yeah.
And so it's not a force, you're not being, like, constantly seeing them every week. And they're not in the main events every week.
Mm-hmm. They give other guys a shot. It's nice.
I think that helps with, because you're not leaving the show thinking, oh God, we just saw him again. Jesus, it's like they always end the show with him. Can't believe it.
Yeah, it's.
How was the women's division tonight? That's all I care about in AEW. We will talk about that here shortly, James. James, they're building a program with Shida and Abadon. Yes, which could be really good. I love Abadon. So do I. The character is cool.
I'm going to talk about it.
Do you think Zack Ryder will sign with AEW?
I thought he was signed with AEW, and then apparently he wasn't. And it was just like a one-time deal. I don't know that he's going to sign anywhere. I think that he's just kind of hanging out, working on his toy stuff. Like for his toy channel.
The thing about AEW is, I think that they're willing to work with their talent.
Well, and you don't have to be signed with them to do a program.
To be on a show, yeah.
Which is
nice. I don't know
that
Zack Ryder really wants to do an all-out.
I mean, like, he just got out of, like, being with WWE for the last, like, 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So it's like, he doesn't necessarily, he might not necessarily want to do that again right now. And so he's just trying to keep his options open.
Yes.
Which I think is smart.
Definitely. Did you hear AEW? They're going to do that holiday show. Yes. Smash in the New Year, I think is what it's called. Are you guys going to do another watch along for Impact on Tuesday? As we get closer, we'll let you know. Jono.
So.
It was pretty successful this week, so we'll see. Matt Cardona still does his toy podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So he's still doing that. He's still keeping his options open for what he can do, which I think is smart.
Definitely. The cool thing about AEW is, like, they don't throw shade or start being petty to anyone that doesn't sign right away. No, they don't, and they will give people the opportunity, whether it's on Dynamite or like Dark. I see AEW Dark as a way for independent, wrestlers from independent companies having the opportunity to come in and wrestle on AEW Dark to try and show off their talent. Can I mention Raquel? Y'all will be surprised. That's all I'm saying. I have proven my point. She is the female Kevin Nash. And no, I am not giving anything away. James, we already knew you thought she was the female Kevin Nash, so you weren't giving anything away.
Nah, it's all good. So after this, we have Tony Schiavone with Cody and Arn Anderson. I don't quite know what they were going to do with this to begin with. Like, they brought Cody out, and I was like, okay, what's Cody going to say? And so before Cody could, like, say anything, Tony was out there and he asked him, he was asking Cody's thoughts on Sting last week, and then the lights go out and Sting comes out. Dude, Sting's entrance is so freaking cool. Like, the snow and everything, it's just so cool. Like, this entire segment, like, I just had the biggest smile on my face. Like, I was so happy to see this. It was just such a cool, like...
The only problem with the snow thing is what are they going to do when, like...
It's actually...
In, like, 5 months... when it's warmed up.
Oh, and then all the snow's gonna melt.
And there's not gonna be any snow to be putting out there.
That's funny. So I don't know. I had the biggest smile on my face throughout this entire segment because I was just like, this is just so cool. Like, to see Sting back out there cutting a promo. He looks like he's having fun. He looks like he's enjoying himself. He doesn't look like he's being, like some of these guys come back and they can't cut a promo. Sting doesn't have that issue. He went out there and he talked it up just fine.
The thing is I think watching this interview, okay, I know he came out last week, did his thing last week where he did the stare down. And this is like the first time you've got to hear him talk, with his return to AEW. I feel like watching him and him coming out, and the whole... This would have been huge if there would have been a crowd.
Oh, it would have been... I mean, they had a small crowd, but, like, if it was a bigger crowd, they would have gone nuts.
The whole him giving Tony a hug.
Oh, man, the moment between the two of them was just so cool.
I think that this was one of those situations where he's like, okay, I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I'm going to be given the chance here to finish my career
the way I want
to finish it.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be anybody that tells me otherwise.
Which I think is so cool, and you can definitely tell. Because when he was out there, it was like Stern John said, like, he looked happy to be there. And it wasn't like, super forced or anything. There wasn't any, like, he looked so happy. And like you said, it was like he was at home, and he knows that this is where he's going to finish his career.
If it was a full house, the crowd would have gone bananas. Definitely. I mean, that's just it.
So.
Thank you for the follow.
So, yeah. I don't know. This was it was such a cool segment. And I was smiling ear to ear the entire time. It was amazing.
The thing is because he, and there's a lot of people who are going to sit here and go, oh, he's old.
I don't care.
The guy looks like he's in shape.
I don't care that he's old, dude. I will not take that argument from anybody.
If he can still get in the ring.
I don't see the problem. Why should we say otherwise?
Then he shouldn't have any issues. Love that AEW shirt, bro. Thank you.
Love seeing Mr. Sting happy. Hey, Akeem, what is up?
How you doing, Akeem?
I know, dude. It's so cool. Like, I don't know. And it's just, it was just so, like, cool seeing him out there and, like, doing this entire segment. And it all, like, the flow of the segment was just, like, it was so good. The Sting return to AEW wasn't a fake return like how they do in WWE. I agree.
No, I don't think so. I think the one thing about it is I think he truly wants to be there. He truly wants to get involved in a storyline. Whether that means he's going to wrestle, I mean, maybe we're going to find out he's going to go, no, I don't want to wrestle, but I'm here to help somebody out. He made a comment, what do you think was better, AEW or NXT? We have not watched NXT yet.
Yeah, we're watching NXT tomorrow.
We're going to watch NXT tomorrow. And so, if you want to come around tomorrow, we're actually going to do a live stream for NXT UK tomorrow afternoon.
So
evening. Well, depending on where you're at. Evening, afternoon, morning, depending on where you're at, we're going to do the live stream off of WWE Network's
NXT UK.
NXT UK.
It's going to be a good time.
I would say afternoon, but it's not afternoon everywhere else, so it could be evening.
It's all good. Sting's return was a genuine welcome home, and you felt that. Yeah, you definitely did. Age doesn't determine if he can still go out and do his thing, and that's the way I feel. Is like all these people that are like, oh, but he's 61, and like he shouldn't be doing this, and he had like a career-threatening injury. Okay, but there are other people that have had career-threatening injuries, and I don't care if they're younger. They came back anyways, and why did we like? If your whole thing is like, oh, he had a career-threatening injury, then, like, why are some of these other people that have come back from career-threatening injuries, why are we, like, not concerned about what they're doing?
Well, the thing is, in wrestling, there's things you can do to avoid, like, putting yourself in a position to be in a bad spot. I think Sting will work with Darby Allen. I agree. I think he's going to work with Darby. I think that's going to be cool. The question is he going to fight him, or is he going to help him out?
I guess we'll just have to see.
Because my thoughts on this, he said, and I think potentially, depending on what happens, he may do something with Cody because of, obviously with the statements he made, I'm not here for you yet. And so, I don't know, is he going to do something to help Darby? And help Darby get through it, because maybe he looks at Darby and he goes, you know what? You are like a young me. Mm-hmm. Even if you're a little crazier than what I was, I didn't.
You do stupid crazy things
like
and jump off.
Get in a body bag and be thrown off.
But it's all good. It's all good. I see a lot of me and you.
Yeah. So I wonder if he will not come back and do something to where he helps out Darby and faces the whole cage and that group.
Yeah.
If it's the case, Daniel Bryan, Edge, Rey Mysterio, who tore his ACL, should have not have come back to wrestling. John Cena injured his neck against Batista and returned, so...
It's all about his age, and everyone's he's 61,
and
he came from a career-threatening injury. Okay, well, Edge is 47 and came off of a career-threatening injury. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, It's all about whether you're
Paige
healthy
was
enough to
like
come
24
back.
and had a
That's the
career-threatening
big
injury,
thing,
and
is
she
this-
came back, and then she
Yeah.
got injured again and left. They can do what they think that they can do. Okay, you
AEW
need
this
to
week
let them.
killed last week's, I think.
You.
I don't think it killed it because here is why. I think that they're still building Sting.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing they're doing is something WWE doesn't do. WWE like jumps into a storyline and then they'll carry that storyline out for like 10 weeks. I like the slow build to things. I don't like the okay, we're going to do this and then they're going to fight for the next 4 weeks because we got a pay-per-view in 4 weeks and then we're going to have you fight at the pay-per-view. And I just don't like that. I like the build up. I like the build up to everything that's going on. So this whole thing, the Sting thing, you know, Cody, I'm not here for you yet. And then they show Darby in the rafters. Or in the seats, not the rafters, because obviously they probably don't have anything up in the rafters right now. But if he was like in an inside stadium and everything, then they'd probably have him in the rafters.
So essentially the way this segment went down is Sting came out, and then Arn Anderson was there, and he was like, okay, Cody has his business, you have yours, I'm going to go ahead and go, because I'm going to go. So Arn Anderson left. I thought that was a fun little spot. I think that was fun. And then he, Sting gives Tony a hug and, asks him to do the "It's Sting" thing. And then, Cody is like, I've been waiting a long time to share a ring with you. And Sting is like, I'm not here for you, Cody. I'm not here for you, dude. And then Sting nods
And
up.
you can see, the thing is, you can take that two ways. You could take it, I'm not here to fight you. Or you could take it, I'm not here to work, I'm not here just come and see you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So then we get the cameras, they look up to, the rafters, and Darby Allen is up there, and he's like, something looks a little bit familiar.
Yeah.
And we got Darby Allen. And then, Cody is kind of reluctant to, be all like, Sting! And then ultimately Sting is just like, I'll see you around, kid. I'll see you around. And then walks out. And I was like, this, brilliant.
It is brilliant. I love what they're doing. It's not, like I said, it's not, and it's like Starring John said here, sometimes being a part of the wrestling fan base can be frustrating because a lot of fans nowadays don't want a slow cook. They want a gimme right now type of story or thing to happen, irritating. It is, and I think the slow cook is what helps build the story. And it makes it more interesting at the end. Rather than, we're going to fight this week, then we're going to fight next week, and then they're going to fight the week after.
It totally
and I'm going to beat
like...
you, and then you're going to beat me, and then I'm going to beat you again, and then you're going to beat me, and then we're going to fight at a pay-per-view, and that'll be the end of it.
Well, just for an example, like the Roman and Jey Uso stuff, I thought that was okay when they first started it, I guess. I don't really like Roman. But it was okay. And then when they built it up, like, they fought each other at this pay-per-view, and then they kept building it up, and then they fought each other at this, like, next pay-per-view, and I was like, what was the point? Like, why are we doing this again and again and again and again and again? It doesn't make any sense. Why can't we just, like, not fight each other? That'd be great. Drew and Randy, that's another one. They did that, like, 87 times.
I ain't gonna lie. I can't wait for Cody versus Sting. It will be fire. Definitely. I think it'll be fire. I think it'll be awesome if they do it. Miro versus Orange Cassidy next week, I hope. That'd be, yes, I think we probably headed that way. I love what Becky told Edge. Don't hurt your neck on the way out of the ring. Pure gold. It was. Bro nuts are donuts, guys. Yes, they are, Johnny Leet.
So,
some people threatening Seth Rollins if Sting doesn't wrestle the same. When does that? That's stupid. Yes, it is stupid.
Well, because it's not Seth's fault, like you said.
Yeah.
Like it's. I don't understand.
It's part of wrestling. Not much you can do about it.
Exactly. Anytime you step into the ring, you risk getting injured.
Yeah.
It's what they do. This is their job. They go out there and perform their job as best they possibly can, and sometimes injuries happen. You can't control it.
Yeah. How would you feel if Tyson Kidd comes to AEW instead of WWE?
It's probably not going to happen because, like, I don't. As far as I know, I don't think he's ever going to get cleared. Like, his neck injury is severe.
A lot would depend
on And I don't
on
think he's ever going to get
how they
cleared.
use him.
And he's kind of like a producer backstage, I think, for WWE.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know. Cody versus Sting will go down in history. Mark my words. It'll be the clash of the generation.
Yes, it will.
I know. It's going to be so good. So, yeah. I don't know. I thought this segment was so cool. And I thought It was so cool, and I had a smile on my face the entire time, and I just thought
They
it
got
was
mad at Seth Rollins for doing the
amazing.
buckle bomb to Sting. Yeah, but like I said, it's one of those things. It's part of wrestling. It's things happen. He's backstage producer for WWE anyways, so yes.
Yeah, I don't know that he'd ever go to AEW. So after this, we have Team Tazz. Team Tazz reminds us of the beatdown that they were putting on Cody and friends. And Tazz's son is no longer training with Cody. He is working with Team Tazz.
Yes.
So he was there with them tonight, and I was a bit like, they didn't make it super clear, but I was like, who is that guy? I was like, wait a second, is that Tazz's son? And then you were like, yeah. And I was like, what? So.
How many matches did Sting have in WWE before leaving?
Let's look.
I'll
look. I think he had a match. Well, he had his match with, 2?
Is
3?
AEW and Impact working together, or is it a pro?
I don't think he had very many.
Well, if you kind of look, AEW has worked with NWA. They've worked with Major League Wrestling. I want to say they worked with Ring of Honor, too. As far as, allowing some wrestlers to come in and do some crossover stuff. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be bigger than just Impact and AEW. I think they're going to get involved with NWA. I think they're going to get involved possibly with Ring of Honor. It just depends on, the situation. But NWA, obviously, they've already gotten involved with, since the NWA Women's Champion is now in AEW. So I think that we could see a little bit bigger reach here.
Okay,
and
so
with
he had four
with
matches.
what Omega said, New Japan Wrestling is another one that I would not be shocked to see in there. And with what Omega said about wanting to have, if you watch his promo yesterday, about
I'm not talking about this yet. I got a lot to say
about the comic books and wanting lots of comic books. And belts are like a comic book. You have the greatest comic book, but you want more. So I think that there's going to be some multiple, there's going to be more than just Impact that gets involved in this. Did you guys see once again CM Punk teasing a wrestling return on the right conditions story? Yes.
I don't know where he said that. I listened to Renee Young's podcast, and she had him on there. I don't know if he said it on there because I didn't get to finish the episode. I got about halfway through, but it's really good. So yeah.
So John Elite wants to know who against who.
So Sting fought Triple H at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah.
He fought on a Raw episode. He fought Big Show, and he fought John Cena. And then he fought Seth Rollins. And those were his 4 matches in WWE.
So he had 4 matches.
Yeah. So that's what he did.
Could you see Marty Scurll coming to AEW? I think it depends on his situation with all the stuff he had, the outside stuff that he had going on.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know if that's all cleared up or not. If it's not cleared up, I'd say no. If it's cleared up, I would say that there's potential that you could see Marty Scurll come into AEW.
So yeah, he had 4 matches. So
Omega keeps posting pictures with him and all the belts around him. Collector, like Thanos with stones. That's what I'm saying. I think that there is more to this than just Impact. There's more to it than Impact. There is, and his promo tonight. When we get to it, I'm going to tell you what I think about it.
I'm going to tell you what I think about it
because. Remember what I said. There was a lot said without saying a lot tonight. A lot of people were disappointed by what happened tonight because it wasn't the big bang that everybody wanted.
But it's not.
But there was a lot said and a lot done tonight without saying a lot and without doing a lot.
But it's not about that though. I mean it is, but it isn't. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it because I have a lot to say. So.
Do you know if Zack Writer signed with AEW?
As far as I know,
as of right now, no, he is not. He is not. I don't believe he's on the roster. So I don't think that Matt Cardona has signed with AEW yet. I think he's more of a kind of he's a free agent. He just kind of pops in every now and then and puts on a show and does some stuff.
Yeah, he had a limited appearance deal with AEW and that expired, and so he's not really working with the company anymore. So,
which is cool because I think AEW doing this thing and it allows these wrestlers to come in and do some stuff and to actually put on a show. Definitely. You know, it's one of those things that you can go, okay, we're going to shock the world today and bring in, you know, Matt Cardona. And, you know, he's there for 2, 3, 4 weeks through a pay-per-view or whatever. And then he leaves.
Yeah, which is cool.
If I'm not mistaken, no, he's not.
So we then have FTR versus the Varsity Blondes, which is Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison? Is that his name? The Varsity Blondes. Okay. It could be an interesting tag team. Have they been working on Dark? I don't know, but I
believe that they were on Dark last week.
I guess
or the week before.
I guess we'll have to see.
I think so.
I guess we'll have to see.
You hear Brock teased about him going to AEW.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen because I think WWE's offering him more money. Vince will offer him more money every single time. And until he's, like, needed...
The thing is Brock signs with AEW. If he were to ever sign with AEW, he's not going to get the same treatment that he gets in WWE.
Nope. That's why I don't think AEW would ever sign him.
And so I think that...
well, because I don't know that Brock is willing to work more than a couple shows a year. And so I don't know that that's necessarily what AEW wants.
Well, that's just it. I think that they want... If he's going to sign... Although... AEW would be the perfect place to do it. Because I don't think that they would give him the title.
No.
Unless he was going to, stick around and be there.
But again, like I said, they'd also have to be offering him enough money.
If he wanted to come in and do, a 2 months worth of shows, I don't think they would have a problem with him, going home and being home for the next 2 months. Because it's kind of what they do now with some of the wrestlers. It's like, you see them. And then, which is good because you get that fresh feeling all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I wouldn't, him joining them would not be bad. Brock joins Team Cody and feuds with Brian Cage. That'd be cool. That'd be an interesting feud. Definitely. Guys, can we just talk about the Queen? Miss Cargill real quick.
So FTR, they beat the Varsity Blondes. This was just kind of a quick match. I didn't think it was overly good, but I thought it was fine. FTR, this is all just about rebuilding them, building them back up to be put back into the Tag Team Championship.
What kind of name is that? And they ain't even blonde. Well, you had to give them some sort of name.
So, yeah. I don't know. I think that this is just all about building FTR back up to be in the Tag Team Championship.
Possibly.
Spotlight.
Yeah.
That's what I think this is.
I can see that.
I don't think that it's really, I don't know.
Here's the thing, okay? We talk about...
Because if they do, like, a tournament or, like, something like that, I think that FTR are going to be in it. I don't know that... I think they'd probably make it to maybe, like, the Final Four, but I don't...
Well, again,
I
think
they would win the belts again.
Yeah, I mean, you watch this and you go, okay, we already knew FTR was going to win. But this gives... It's like when they did with Top Flight and the Acclaimed and the Hybrid this week. It's getting them out there for exposure so people can see them. And I think that this is kind of the same thing because the Varsity Blondes, like I said, I think that someone said that they've been on Dark. Mm-hmm. And so I think that this gives them the opportunity to be on the big show. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's pretty cool. We are in 2020 and Brian Pillman Jr. has a mullet. Are you still living in the 80s or something?
The 80s are cool, though.
Yes, the 80s called him. They want their hair back.
The 80s are cool, though. So...
I think it's okay.
I'm not mad at it. I mean, it's different.
That's right. Something different. Scott Streamer, how you doing? Hello, Smokey Eye.
What is up? So, yeah. This is a fun match.
Yeah.
FTR won?
Yes.
It's cool.
Good match.
So we then get Alex Marvez with Hangman Adam Page. have some questions.
I have a mullet. Chill, fam. There's nothing wrong with a mullet.
So
If you have the hair to have a mullet, you're doing good.
Mr. G remembers the 80s well.
I do remember the 80s.
Man. So Alex Marvez is with Hangman Page, and Page has a 6-man tag team match with the Hardy Party next week, which is Matt Hardy and Private Party. But he doesn't have any partners. So Alex Reynolds and John Silver, they show up and they have cowboy hats on, and they're all like, "Yeehaw, cowboy!" And they're like, "We'll be your partners." And Adam Page is like, "No, you most certainly will not." And they're like, "Come on, dude, it's just 1 week. Like, let us be your partners. You need partners for this match. Just, like, let us do it." And so Hangman is like, "Okay, fine, but I'm not joining the Dark Order, okay? None of this means that I'm joining the Dark Order. It's just a match. We're just, like, we're all good. We're just, it's a match next week. That's it. Nothing more." So yeah.
This segment was awesome.
I am so intrigued with what they're doing with him because...
Well, first off, I loved how Reynolds and Silver come in with the cowboy hats on. Like,
I love them.
"How you doing, cowboy?"
They are my favorite ever. I love them so much. They're just so they're so charismatic, and they're so, like, I love them. I love them so much. They're some of my favorite people on AEW. John Silver is so freaking funny. And then when you put Alex Reynolds in there too, they just, like, bounce off of one another so well. It's hilarious. Their Being the Elite segments are so funny. If you've never seen them, I highly recommend you do, because you will get a good laugh. So I'm really intrigued with what they're doing, because there's a lot of different directions that they can go with this. So, like, ultimately, after they did the whole Kenny Omega and Adam Page split, we're sitting here thinking, okay, so Kenny Omega is going to win the title from Jon Moxley, right? Down the line, we are getting Adam Page and Kenny Omega, right? I still think that might be a possibility, but I think it's going to be, like, a ways down the line. Like, I don't think that Adam Page and Kenny Omega is happening anytime soon.
No.
So...
here's what... okay, go ahead. Go with your thought, and then I'll tell you my thought on this.
Like, I don't know. I think that he could join Dark Order, and it could be cool. I also think... You know what? I think that would be the smart thing to do. I think that he should join Dark Order for the moment. And maybe do that. And, like, see how that goes and see if maybe he fits in there. And when he doesn't, because I think that Brody Lee's going to come back.
Yeah.
And I think that Brody Lee's going to take issue with them adding, like, Adam Page into the group, like, without his permission. And so then maybe, like, you get, like, a Brody and Page feud to kind of fill time.
Yeah. I think that's possible. Here's my thoughts on this. I think Page will join the Dark Order. And here's why I think he's going to do this. This follows kind of the same path that Colt Cabana did, where he was losing.
And he didn't quite know what to do with himself.
Cabana seemed more kind of out of it. Like, he's the goofy guy, so it's like, you know, so he's just all happy, never get upset type of guy that, you know, he just goes with the flow and just, "Oh, you want me to jump on him? All right, I'll jump on him. He's 6'8". And
I thought you were going to say, "Hey, do you want to jump off a cliff? I'll jump off a cliff."
You know that too.
That's what I thought.
Colt, we need you to try to test this out. Jump off the cliff there.
That's what I thought you were going with. Anyway, never mind.
So Page is kind of lost right now because he's not winning.
And he lost all of his friends.
Yes. So I could see him coming into the Dark Order. And then as we go along, time goes by. Page doesn't do what Cabana did with Brody. Mm-hmm. He doesn't do, he doesn't follow the you do that. And
like,
you do
what
that.
The heck, dude?
He goes, I'm not taking this. What are you doing?
See, that's why I think there could be some sort of friction between the two of them. I really think that the pairing of Page, Reynolds, and Silver could be super fun, and, like, they could become Page's new BFFs.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be such a fun pairing, because I think they could do so many funny segments.
Yes.
Because I feel like Hangman Page is just as funny as they are, but in sort of a different way.
Yeah.
Like, Silver and Reynolds are very out there and very, like, we're trying to be funny, but we also look kind of stupid, and you laugh at us because we look kind of stupid, you know? Hangman Page sort of just, like, has this, like, dry humor. Like, you know, he says things, and they're just funny.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah. I feel like it could be a really fun pairing of the three of them sort of being buddies.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to. Like, I really think it would be super
I think
fun.
This would be a cool thing. I mean, it'd be an interesting thing to do with it. I think it's just one of those things that, it creates long-term booking. Mm-hmm. Because this won't happen overnight.
Well, I wonder when we're going to see Brody Lee back.
Well, and this could be the whole idea behind, you know, this could be where we start to bring Brody Lee back, because they you know, Silver and Reynolds both go, hey, look, you know, Mr. Brody Lee, we've got the perfect guy. We've got him. He's ready to join us. Mm-hmm. We've brought in Hangman Page.
Yeah.
And so this is where they could tie Brody back into, you know, the mix and back into the storyline. Mm-hmm. So I think that this would be perfect. By the way, where was Cabana tonight? I did not know. I haven't seen him in a while. Which is what I like about AEW. It's not, you don't get the constant, just guys down your throat all the time.
So the last time that Brody Lee was seen was on the October 7th episode of Dynamite, and he lost to Cody, obviously, and he's been taking time off for an undisclosed injury. So I don't know what he injured or like how extensive that is.
He'll probably be coming back soon. Just guessing.
But he's been out since October 7th.
Yeah.
And it's now December 9th.
Yeah.
So I would say he's coming back in the next couple weeks, maybe the turn of like January. Maybe the beginning of January, like they wait until we get sort of
right
the
after
new
the
year.
New year. Yeah.
And then they bring him back, and he's like, it's time to get back in business. This is going to be the Dark Order's year, and we're going to take over everything. You know, and then that's when that's all halted because Adam Page is a part of the group.
Maybe they bring him back at one of their Smash in the New Year things.
That would be January 6th, I believe.
Or the 30th.
Or they're doing a two-show. Yeah, I got it.
That would be pretty interesting, to be honest. Starring John. I have a lot of interesting ideas. You know, I have long-term booking out there.
Well, we try.
I'm waiting for somebody to hire me.
Well, they secretly steal our ideas.
Yeah, they come watch our show and steal our ideas. So it doesn't make any difference. I shared the show, guys. Thanks, James. Appreciate it.
Man.
I think Dustin should be number 7, though, in the Dark Order. Don't say that it will never happen, because I don't think Hangman Page is going to be a long-term. Like, as far as, like, long-term, I mean, like, you know, him being in the Dark Order for a year or two. Mm-hmm. I think that when Hangman Page comes in, it's going to be for, you know, 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's about the extent of where we will see it, because then I think you'll see the feud with Page and Brody Lee.
Well, I think that they could totally play it out where, like, Brody Lee comes back as, like, if after next week we decide that Hangman Page is joining the Dark Order, and he joins the Dark Order, and the people really like him, and they think he's funny, and he sort of takes over this leadership position, not because he wants to, but just kind of by default, because they don't have Brody Lee there, he could sort of take over this, you know, leader role, by chance, and then Brody Lee comes back and is like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gone for a couple months, and you find somebody to replace me? Well, with that, Dark Order could totally implode.
They could, but I don't think... I think
Brody Lee could totally be like,
I think doing it the way...
You all suck!
Yeah, doing it the way I said, I think would work better. I think Dustin wouldn't fit in the Dark Order. Hakeem, I disagree. I think if they created the story properly, they can make Dustin in the Dark Order work. And here's why.
Oh, you know what's so funny?
They could make him, like, he could be like, you know what? All you guys talk about is Cody. I'm like totally lost. I have no clue. Like, I'm the older Rhodes here, and all you guys do is talk about Cody. Cody's just pushed out there. He's out there all the time. I feel that I cannot be around him anymore, and I need to go do something else.
Yeah.
And so I could see Dustin being in the Dark Order if they do the story the right way.
And it would be something different, because I feel like Dustin is sort of in this place now. Not that he's bad, because I don't think he's bad, but I feel like he's just kind of stuck in this, like, the record is just repeating itself over and over. Like, it's just stuck. And we need to, like, move the thing so it plays smoothly again. I feel like he's just sort of stuck right now.
Yeah.
Like, we're not necessarily doing stuff with Cody. I don't know what happened with QT Marshall. I don't know what's happening with that. Like, is that a thing anymore? I don't know. But he's just kind of stuck, and he's not going anywhere.
Yes.
And so I think doing the Dark Order thing could be fun.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, don't forget me. They've been stealing my ideas, too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Johnny Lee. I was getting to it. I just didn't get to your... Jeez. Y'all, sure y'all don't want to know... Y'all sure y'all don't want to hear what else happened?
No, we don't
James,
want to hear James.
We're already going to hunt you down.
Don't tell us.
Just remember,
we're going to watch it tomorrow.
Today, December 9th, is officially known as Hunt James Down Day.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it tomorrow. The other thing that's super cool about the idea of Hangman Page joining Dark Order is it totally comes full circle with, like, originally thinking that Hangman Page was going to be the leader of Dark Order, and then he sort of, like, kind of assumes that position by mistake because Brody Lee isn't around. I think that's kind of a fun, like, full circle moment. You know, where the people were like...
It would be interesting because I suppose you could do that. You could do the whole...
Not that he necessarily wants it or is looking for it, but because
he walks into
Brody
it and he's
there.
lost, and he kind of guides them without really trying to guide them.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a cool way to do it.
And like I said, it goes full circle with, you know, people talking about, well, they think... When Kenny and Paige were tag team, we were talking about, you know, one of them is going to be the one that is the leader of Dark Order, and then they brought in Brody Lee.
Yeah.
You know, I think it would be such a fun sort of full circle moment.
James, I have the Fiend ready if you want. See, James, Johnny Lee's going to turn the Fiend loose on you.
So,
James, sleep with one eye open tonight, bud.
Yeah, that's bad, man. I like pushing y'all's buttons.
That's right, James.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
You won't be pushing any buttons soon. Okay.
So, we then have Dustin Rhodes versus Preston Vance. Or
number 10.
Number 10. That's who that guy is?
Yes.
I didn't know he had a name.
Preston
I
Vance.
just knew him as number 10, whatever.
Yes.
And number 10 of the Dark Order. And Dustin won, and that's fine.
James, that's why we love having you here, because you like pushing our buttons.
That's all cool. So yeah, again, like I said, I feel like Dustin's just sort of stuck in this place right now, and he needs to be removed. Because, not like removed, like he needs to go away, but he just needs to find something new. Like, I don't necessarily think this whole Nightmare Family thing is really working out anymore. Like, I'm not necessarily getting it when I was before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, what? I mean, what else would you do with Dustin, aside from the Dark Order stuff?
Well, there's other things you could do. I think it's just a matter of building it up.
I don't know.
I like what this is because, you know, the post-match kind of ties into what I was saying just a little bit ago. So Evil Uno comes to the ring. He says that your legacy is intact, but you're the third most important Rhodes in the company. Mm-hmm. And he offers him a spot in the Dark Order as number 7. So here's a question, because you have Evil Uno out recruiting. You have Reynolds and Silver out recruiting. Which this is cool because I didn't even think about this till just now. So you guys have these guys out there recruiting. Mm-hmm. You know, the talking figures of when Brody Lee isn't there, the talking figures of the Dark Order out recruiting, and you have Evil Uno going after Dustin. Reynolds and Silver going after Hangman. Yeah. This is kind of interesting. Maybe we get a Hangman-Dustin match.
How would you book that? Like,
because they both come in, and they both go, okay, we're part of, you know, I want to be part of the Dark Order, because I feel that you guys are cool, or whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. But then we get the They go, well, we only got room for one more. The winner gets to join.
And then ultimately it's Adam Page.
The Dark Order.
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of cool, and it'd be a way to sort of book another feud to do stuff, you know.
Which, if that happened, you know, they could, like, spin off of that, and it could go either way. You know, you have Hangman, who's already losing all the time right now.
And gets a win, and is like, wait, maybe the Dark Order is the magic secret thing. Sort of Colt
Or if he
Cabana-ish,
loses,
but, you know.
If he loses, it just continues on down his, you know, track of,
darkness.
I can't believe this. What am I going to do?
Walking into the dark hole.
And then with Dustin, you could, if you had him lose, he could fall, you know, farther down with, well, I'm the third Rhodes in this group. I've got to go prove myself. I've got to go face Cody to prove myself here because I couldn't do it. I couldn't get into the Dark Order. I wasn't good enough there. I'm a nobody in this company because I'm the third Rhodes and I'm nothing. I got to go after Cody.
That could be an interesting story too. Sort of playing out Cody and
Dustin.
Dustin.
I need to like start writing them,
High five, dude.
man. Jeez. I'm in the wrong line of work. I should be writing wrestling stories.
You should.
Grip on your pillow tight tonight. And I mean really, really tight tonight, James. Just letting you know.
So after this we have...
that was actually John Leitz saying that.
Guys, we have Tony Schiavone with Brandy Rhodes and Shaquille O'Neal. This is the... Like, what? There were two segments on the show that made absolutely no sense to me. This was the first one. I was like... What is the point? I don't understand this. I don't get it whatsoever. We brought Shaq on this show. Okay. So Shaq says he didn't appreciate what Jade did to Brandy's arm. And Brandy wants all this stuff to stop. Shaq says, you know, there's none of this is like no disrespect to Cody. It was just like some fun on Twitter or whatever. Like he said something on Twitter. I don't know. I don't follow Shaquille O'Neal. I didn't see it. Look that up. What did he say to Cody on Twitter? So then Brandy like throws soda in his face or whatever. And she did that because like Shaq told Brandy to pay attention to Jade because she might learn something from her. And I was just kind of like, what? I don't understand this. Like, what was the point of this? Like, he didn't even say, like, what? I don't get it. Like, he didn't say anything that was worth anything. Like, are we building to a Shaquille O'Neal Cody fight? Are we doing the Brandy and Jade thing? I'm thinking it's the Brandy and Jade thing, but I don't, yeah, I got absolutely nothing from this. I don't quite know what the point was. Like, and it was just such a weird, awkward thing. Like, why was Shaq there? If the whole idea is Brandy and Jade, why didn't you, like, interview Jade? Why are we doing this thing with Shaquille O'Neal? I don't understand it.
I don't know, but I'm not seeing the whole Shaq.
I agree. I get it. They're building Brandy versus Jade Cargill, but this wasn't the right way to do it. Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say about this because I didn't get it. I was like, what's the point? Hey, Volterra, what is up? I don't want to see Shaq. Yeah. I just don't know the point.
I'm trying to find what they said on Twitter.
I can look.
Wait.
Wait, did you find it?
Shaq wants a piece of Cody Rhodes, and I'm here for it.
Okay, so what?
There is one last part of O'Neal Warner Media contract that is in the embryonic stage at best, and it involves All Elite Wrestling, which airs on TNT. O'Neal is a big wrestling fan who has appeared at many WWE events, including the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and WrestleMania 32 at AT&T Stadium, and episodes of Raw, as well as the now defunct World Championship Wrestling. O'Neal said he had a message for Cody Rhodes, an AEW vice president, and also an in-ring performer who is currently the AEW TNT champion. I'd love to fight Cody, said Shaq. Write it, print it, text it to him, call AEW up, and tell them. So this all has to do with
him wanting to fight Cody. Okay, but
no,
what?
What this has to do with is his contract with Warner Media, who owns TNT.
But what's the point?
Because I'm guessing that he's going to promote a show or a movie or something.
Great, which is fine, and I'm figuring that's what he's gonna do. But like, this is like, what? What? This is such a weird way to do it. And like, he didn't even say anything in this thing. It was like, okay, I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's my guess, but well, it makes sense now as to why they're doing it, because it has to do with Shaq's contract with Warner Media, and so they're bringing him in that way.
Okay.
Hello, Zandel. Hello, Volterra. How you doing?
They could make it make sense, but this doesn't make sense, and I don't understand, what they're doing.
I don't know how you would make it make sense, and I think it's probably hard for. I think it was probably hard for AEW to go, okay, let's see, we got to figure out how we're going to tie him into this if this is what we're going to do.
If he wants to do something with Cody, then do it with Cody. Don't do this weird, like, run around with Jade Cargill and Brandy. Like, is it going to be a mixed tag team match?
No, I don't think so, but I think
Is it going to be Jade and Shaq and Brandy and Cody?
No,
they could do something like that, but, like, it doesn't make sense.
I don't think so. I think this was
Cody
just a way to bring him into some sort of storyline.
But it's just so weird.
Well, it is, but the whole idea was he was there as a guest, and it doesn't make a lot of sense.
A guest who said
nothing.
That
he was there as a guest in an interview, so this is how they bring him, how they bring it up. I mean, that's just it.
I don't get it.
Okay, but the point is, this isn't about a wrestling storyline. This is about his contractual obligations to Warner Media.
But they could have made it make sense, though. That's the thing I'm saying. Is none of this makes sense, and you have people
if you're
AEW
going, and they go, hey, we need to have him on here, what do you do?
I don't care. They could come up with something. They're good at that. It's what they do. The thing about it is...
How do you pull Shaq into this?
I don't know. Have him put out a tweet or something, which I didn't see. He wants to fight Cody Rhodes. Okay, cool. Then you can have Cody Rhodes respond with some arrogant comment of like, Shaq wants to wrestle me. This is just such, like, what a joke, blah, 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 blah. Like, stick to basketball, dude. And then you could have him, like, show up on the show.
I'm back.
Or whatever. Like, have him come in the crowd or whatever and, like, show up one week like what they did with Jade. Instead of Jade, they could have done this with Shaq.
I don't know.
And had him on the show and been like, oh, you want to say those words to my face, dude? And then gone from there. Like, why are we doing this run around with Jade Cargill and Brandy? It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I don't think the whole thing makes sense. I think the whole thing is, like, messed up. So I think that's where you have the issue.
I just, like, because now you have people sitting here that were watching this show and they're like, what was the point? Like, I don't understand.
I think we're getting mixed.
Like, I'm just confused. Possibly. And it's like, well, okay, but, like, make it make sense, though.
Yeah, I guess.
But then they followed
like I said, I think it was just thrown together.
But then
I don't want to see Shaq, but go ahead.
But then they followed up by having Jade attacking Brandy backstage.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No.
None of it makes sense whatsoever.
Definitely.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Because if Brandy's involved, Cody's getting involved, which is what I think that. I mean, if you're going to bring him into a storyline, I don't know how else you would do it. This works.
So I don't know.
You really didn't like this thug meme, did you?
No. It doesn't make sense. Maybe in 2020. No,
That's
it doesn't
right.
make
2020.
sense.
Don't worry about it.
Jeez.
It's 2020. No big deal. My friend keeps asking me, what is Everclear and how does it taste? And I said, dude, you don't want to know. I was confused too, just like you was. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
There were lots of people that were confused. They were like,
but after reading this, it makes sense to me.
But even so, they could have made it make sense. AEW is a promotion, a wrestling promotion that puts on a show that does storytelling. They have writers backstage. Look how quickly I came up with. Shaq could have put out the tweet on Twitter. They could have arranged this and been like, if he had to do this, they could have talked to one another and been like, okay, Shaq, we want you to put out this tweet. Tag Cody, talk to Cody, tell him that you want to fight him. Or whatever, and then we can have Cody go on Dynamite the week after that, and be like, really, Shaq, you want to fight me, blah, 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 seriously, you could never, and then have Shaq show up at the show and be like, say it to my face, dude, and then they make a match from there, not with this stupid run around with, like, Jade and all this stuff. It's like, what's the connection of Jade and Shaq? How, what the connection of those two? Can somebody explain that to me? Like, are they buddies? I mean, I don't know. They haven't explained jack squat, so none of it makes sense. It's like, what is this? I don't even know. I don't even know.
O'Neal said he loves and appreciates Jade as they go back a long way. But he doesn't condone of her attacking Brandy. He said his interaction with Cody Rhodes on Twitter were just him messing around, and that he respects both Cody and Dustin a lot. O'Neal also said he will be there for Brandy and Jade's match down the line when it happens. Shaq
Great, so
ended
Cody
the
can
segment
attack
by
him.
telling Brandy to watch Jade perform while her arm is in a sling, as she could learn some pointers. This caused Brandy to throw a drink on the NBA star and call him an overgrown a-hole.
I just don't get it.
Oh, see here.
Well, apparently Shaq and Jade are longtime friends, so, but that doesn't tell us anything. No, it doesn't. I don't know, man, and none of it makes sense, and it's like, what the heck is this? What the heck is this? I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
there's not much here.
I don't know. So after this, we have the Inner Circle segment. I thought this was funny. So Jericho recaps the situation. He's all like, okay, MJF was brought in. Sammy doesn't like MJF. Hager doesn't like Wardlow. Ortiz is like here, and Santana didn't even show up to work. And so, you know, I don't know what's happening with the Inner Circle. We're just falling apart. So, if we can agree on keeping it together and being all nice to each other, then we're breaking up. It's over. The band is breaking up, and we will not have a reunion show ever. So, MJF is like, I love all of you, guys. I love you, Sammy. I love you, Hager, I guess, kind of. I love you, Ortiz. I mean, we're buddies. We're homies, you know. We're pals, okay? Sammy freaks out and is all like, look, dude, no, we are not buddies. I don't like you. You don't like me. It's been made perfectly clear. We don't like each other, okay? Ortiz then gets on the mic and is like, okay, you know, Max, you're kind of growing on me. Like a fungus, but you're still growing on me, okay? I'm kind of okay with you, sort of. Not really, though. Maybe. A little bit. Not really, though. And then Ortiz is like, okay, come on, Sammy. Just, like, shake his hand. Like, come on. Let's be grown up about this. Just shake his hand, and the Inner Circle will move on and we'll be great. Be the better man, please. You're better than him, and you know it. And MJF freaked out and was all like, what the heck, dude? That's my gimmick. That is my thing, and you stole it, you jerk. And Sammy's like, okay, fine, I'll shake his hand. But if anything happens again, I'm telling you,
peace out, Girl Scout!
MJF, and you, Jericho, if anything happens, I am gone. I'm done. I quit the Inner Circle. And I'm all like, oh. Dang. So he shakes his hand, and Jericho's like, okay, now all of us are on the same page. And then Hager interrupts him and is like, I'm not okay with this. This guy over here, Wardlow, he keeps staring at me. And Wardlow's like, and he keeps staring at me. So Jericho is like, well, let's just stop staring at each other. Cool? And they're like, cool.
And then I loved how Hager stood there and he's like,
it was so funny, man. So
this is the first time that I felt they got everybody in the Inner Circle involved.
Even though Santana wasn't there, I feel like he was still involved in it because they like mentioned him and Ortiz was all like,
I just feel that this was the first time where they got everybody involved, and we're starting to see that potentially you're starting to see a split within the Inner Circle on where they're going to go with who they think they should be siding with and things like that.
Yeah.
The whole idea of having Hager and Wardlow They didn't have like a lot of lines, but I thought it was perfect. It was
and
perfect.
It was
the whole idea of, well, you know, like they spoke up, and finally it was like, you know, Jericho said, "Are we good? Do we have any more problems?"
Hank's like,
and then Hank, "No, I have a problem. He keeps staring at me." And I felt that this was done well. It was a way to get Hager and Wardlow involved in it. And it kept it simple, so they didn't have to do a long promo.
Yeah, man, it was fun.
It was done excellently.
It was fun.
Perfect.
And I really enjoyed it.
Yes. I thought this was done good. I thought it was done amazingly. And it continues to build the storyline. Wherever it's going to go.
Yeah.
Whether MJF takes over Inner Circle and becomes the man, or if they keep them together.
Sammy's leaving.
Well, I'm pretty sure Sammy's going to leave.
I think Sammy's leaving. Now, it's a matter of whether he takes Jericho with him because Jericho sees the light and is like, he realizes that, like, Max is the problem. Or not. Because I was thinking, like, from the get-go, I was thinking that it was going to be Jericho and Sammy that ultimately left the Inner Circle and then did, like, a tag team thing and then ended up feuding with each other. But they might not. Like, it might be that Jericho stays in the Inner Circle and Sammy feuds with him anyways because he's, like, anti-Inner Circle. And, like, he could go through a trial of, like, fighting all the members of the Inner Circle. And they could do some sort of thing with that to sort of, like, prove that, like, he's like, I want to prove that I'm better than all of you. So
yeah, I agree. I think that
he does this like,
potentially,
you know, he fights all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's potentially one of those things where
there's a couple different directions
there's angles they could go off of this, and so I think right now looking at it, I think that potentially we're going to see, like you said, I think that Sammy's going to be the one that's going to be the first to kind of step away, because obviously Ortiz is okay with what's going on right now
at the moment, but Santana's like mad about things because he's not even there.
Yeah.
I love that. That was so funny.
And the whole Wardlow and Hager thing, where they're bouncing off of each other. Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting to see where they go with that.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of different directions they can go with it.
Yeah. Which
is a good place to be in, because they don't need to box themselves in a corner where they can't get out of it and they only have one way to go. Like, that would be not the smartest thing in the world, you know?
Yeah. So I would agree.
So yeah, I think that having multiple different options is good.
Oh, definitely. I think that that's one of the things, you know, about this whole segment with the Inner Circle. There's lots of ways they could go. I mean, you know, it's like you brought up the potential of both Sammy and Jericho leaving. You've also brought up the idea of the Inner Circle splitting up completely and everybody going their own way. Mm-hmm. The idea of MJF taking over and being the leader of the Inner Circle. So, I mean, there's a lot of options here. The thing is I think if there's a lot of ways they could go if they had MJF take over the leader of the Inner Circle. Because
I think they could either do the thing where he runs it better than Jericho did, or he runs it into the ground. And then they're all like, see, Sammy was right, and we should have listened to Sammy. And it ultimately like makes Sammy sort of the hero in the end. And they're all like, we are so sorry for what we did to you, man. We thought Max was a good guy, and he really wasn't.
I think that overall, I think that the MJF thing, I don't think he'd want to lead the Inner Circle. I think he would want to lead them to try and get them to look up to him and like be his
followers.
Yeah, but I think
he doesn't want to be like a group. He wants to be the star of the group with the guys around him that sort of help him with his matches how good he is. Yeah. Totally.
And so, I think that they could turn this into one of those things where they have MJF looking like the leader without looking like the leader. Mm-hmm. You know, it annoys me how WWE tries to cover up when someone flips the bird on TV, and you still see them flipping the bird. Yeah, I don't know why.
Definitely.
Because AEW doesn't have a problem showing things like that.
No, not at all. They let the word God slip tonight.
They did. I was amazed.
Yeah, you were like,
I can't believe they just said that.
I can't believe it. Oh, man, it was so funny.
You can drop the F-bomb, you can drop all other words, but drop
Not
God,
God. Not at all, not at all. So we then have an FTR promo, where Cash tries to take responsibility, and he's like, look, I'm the reason we lost the tag team titles. It was me. I did the jump off the top rope. It was my fault. We lost the tag team titles. We would still be the tag team champions if it wasn't for me. And Tully and Dax are like, dude, no, we are an equal team. You are 1/3 of this team. And it was us that let you down, okay? And you're all good. Everything's great. Fear the revolution. So, we then have Kingston, Butcher, Blade, versus Archer, Pentagon, and Fenix. Another decent match. I thought this was fine. It's just a continuation of the feud. I really don't have, I don't really have an issue with it.
Yes, I agree. I think this was an excellent match. I thought it was done well. Mm-hmm. It's telling a story. We're gonna get Archer. I think is gonna snap, and I think he's gonna kill Kingston, Butcher, and Blade. That's what I think.
Wait, what?
Archer.
Say that again.
I said the Archer. Archer is going to kill Kingston, Butcher, and Blade.
I agree. Yeah.
Is what I think is going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen out of this whole thing. I think you're going to have him wanting to destroy all three of them.
I agree. I don't know what they're doing with Pentagon and Fenix are doing. Like, I am okay, I suppose, like, with... Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
What happens with them. Like, I don't know. They were, like, on top of the tag team division, and they've kind of, like, dwindled down a little bit because they're not really being featured as prominently, which is totally fine because they're featuring other people. But I'm curious to see, like, with the Pac stuff, like, what are we doing with that? Why was Archer in this match instead of, like, Pac?
Because of what happened last week.
Oh, yeah.
I think that one of those things is
yeah.
I think one of the things is they found a way to bring someone else in. So
yeah, and they're trying to get Lance Archer across. Yeah. So I guess it makes sense. Okay. I guess it makes sense.
Did you like Ray Phoenix botch, or is that just the norm in AEW so we don't discuss it? The thing about the Ray Phoenix, I mean, it's one of those things is there's botches all the time in all wrestling.
Sometimes it's noticeable and sometimes it's not.
I think the one thing about Wrestling Observer, how you doing?
What is up?
Thanks for follow.
Thank you.
I think the thing about the whole thing about any botches that you see, it's one of those things that it happens all the time. And when you have guys that just fly around a lot, it happens. Could happen more frequently than any others. I mean, the way they throw their bodies around, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Scott, good evening. Lost a friend to cancer today. Didn't watch wrestling tonight. I'm sorry to hear about that, Scott.
Sorry to hear about that, dude. Hope you're doing okay.
Yes.
Who is Ray?
Glad to have you here, Scott.
Who's Ray Phoenix? New Indies guy. Oh man. Oh man.
So then we have the backstage issues with the women's division. This is where we have the
Jade and Nyla were attacking Red Velvet, and
yes.
the connection there was supposed to be because Red Velvet's working with Brandy or whatever, and so yeah, that's happening there. And I don't know. Again, the whole Shaq Jade thing, Brandy, Cody, none of it makes sense to me, and I just don't understand the whole idea behind it. Like, I feel like we need better storytelling for this to work for me. For, like, I don't know.
Just sucks. Cherish your time with your friends and family. Definitely, Scott. Definitely.
Hey, Jack. What is up? So...
I you know, when you lose a friend, lose a family member, it's tough. 14 years ago, we lost my stepdaughter. So it's one of those things, you know, it's doesn't necessarily, I want to say it gets easier. You don't ever forget, you know, just stay strong. Make sure that you talk to somebody if you need to, Scott. Hello, dude!
What's up?
How you doing?
Going?
I just had to do that because I saw dude was
so,
in the chat.
So yeah, I don't know, just some better storytelling, explaining stuff with the Jade and Nyla stuff, Randy, all this situation with them. So Serena Deeb came in and made the save, and Diamante and Ivelisse were also there, and they like beat up Serena Deeb. So I'm assuming this is gonna lead to some match. Like next week?
Probably.
Or something. Like, I don't know. It was just very kind of jumbled up and all over the place and like,
Here's the one thing. I don't know that they've done a good job of building this storyline. But again, I don't know. After reading what they were talking about, I don't know that they've had a lot of time to like throw a lot of thought process into what's going on with this.
Yeah.
And so I think that might be part of why this was... The whole Shaq thing, everything that's going on here, I think that's part of why this is just being sped along fast. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Just come to see who was bored of my stream. Jeremy Hakeem with me for 4 hours. Wrestle Story, go on. I lose
my goddamn audience. Sorry, dude.
The review is going slower than a Roman Reigns promo, and...
We're talking about everything, though. We're just
right.
going through everything and giving our thoughts, and we've had a lot of great booking ideas that you haven't been here for.
I was thinking we were slower than a turtle, which is slower than Roman Reigns.
So we have Abadon versus Tesha Price. Okay, question, folks.
I wasn't bored of your stream. See, Akima
well,
loves
thank you.
And
oh, well, he's not bored of our stream, but he's
Akima.
also not bored of Ant. So that's good. I think he's not bored of both of us.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out. Is he talking about our stream or
Well,
Ant's
see,
stream?
that's kind of the question. I think he's referring to both of us, because we're both pretty great.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. But, you know, it's like it was your stream, so I don't know.
Your stream.
Yeah.
Your stream.
Respect the process.
Yeah. Oh, look! The rules thing went!
Yes.
Yeet!
I don't care for these whole live streams.
Man. So, Abadon versus Tesha Price. Okay. I don't know, man. I've never seen Tesha Price before. She was. I think she's on Dark. I think she was on Dark. I think she's new.
Yes.
She's working with AEW, which is totally fine. Totally fine. Abadon was winning. It was so clear. The match was 1 minute and 13 seconds, which I don't think. It was just a squash match. It's just trying to get Abadon over, but I don't necessarily know that it's working because I'm not necessarily hooked with what she's doing. I'm not necessarily hooked with the entire idea of the Shida-Abadon feud. It's not bad, but it's also, like, kind of weird because this is just, like, pulled up out of nowhere. And we have Shida who's kind of, like, scared of her. But Abadon really hasn't been built up either to where... Like, I don't know. It's just such a weird situation. You know what I mean? Does anybody else feel that way? That this is just kind of, like, weird? Like, the booking of this is just kind of odd. Because we're trying to build up Abadon as this, like, big, like, scary person. But she really hasn't had time to be built up.
Let me tell you why. Okay?
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you why this is perfect.
Go ahead.
Shida is Japanese, right?
Okay.
There's a lot of Japanese that are big into like the dark side, the
Where are you going with this?
Well, here's where I'm going with this, okay? Shida can use this as, you know, they can tie this in that Shida is like somewhat fearful of her because of, you know, have you ever seen you've never seen The Ring, have you?
I don't watch scary movies,
yeah, okay.
Dude.
So
you know this.
They
okay?
could tie this into the whole Japanese culture of, okay, I'm scared of, like, the dark side type thing. And so they show her fearing Abadon for a while. Mm-hmm. But then she overcomes her fear. Mm-hmm. And then takes out Abadon. What is Abadon? Is she a demon, a monster, a swamp creature? I don't know what she's supposed to be. They didn't explain it. She's a demon.
Well, see, the thing about it is like, I feel like the women's division is the one place where AEW has kind of some issues where they need to sort some things out. So...
the Abadon booking seems to be missing something, but I don't know what. The thing
yes! Spot on.
I think the issue with the Abadon thing is the only issue you have with Abadon, right, is that she had the injury.
Which I think screwed up her push.
And
because
so
I think she was gonna,
that was all messed up there.
Yeah,
because she missed a month or 2 months because of the injury.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of screwed up any plans that they had going, and they probably had a plan to bring her in sooner.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that wasn't the whole idea of with her. And now they've kind of had to speed things up because I don't know what their plan is, but if they're planning on, the New Year's, using her in one of the New Year's, her and Sheeta, at a New Year's thing.
Which I think that's what they're building up to, so they can have a big card, but I don't necessarily know that that's a big name match that's going to get many people to, tune in. People aren't going to tune in for that match specifically.
Well, because basically
based on where it's going right now.
I mean, that's the big thing.
Yeah, that's the issue.
But if they tie this story in and they make a story out of it, like I said,
but that's the thing.
Sheeta, you kind of get the background on Sheeta with the whole Japanese culture thing, and then do it that way, then I think that you could potentially turn this into a story where, hey, this is pretty cool. What's going to happen?
You totally could. But right now,
actually, a ripoff of Impact's Mary. James, everybody rips off somebody else.
Makes sense. Mr. G, Ringu Grudge, part of her culture is what makes her fear Abadon. Good story, Mr. D, but they need to show that as well, not just assume it. Yeah. Yeah.
Terrifying. Don't get scared, Jack. It's okay.
Well, he's talking about Night of the Living Dead.
Oh.
It was not terrifying. I don't know what you watched.
It was terrifying.
But it wasn't Night of the Living Dead.
You just have no clue. Makes sense, Mr. G. Ring Grudge. Part of her culture is what makes her fear Abadon. Good story, Mr. G, but they need to show that as well, not just assume it. Maybe they will. Maybe that's why, because, maybe this is where we'll get part of the storyline that, because you put out there that she fears Abadon for some reason. You don't want to just come out and tell the story. You have to have her come out and show the fear. And then, tie in the story behind, her culture and everything in behind it. Yeah. After you see the fear happen and what exactly... Because I think this is the first time we've really seen Sheeta, going, whoa, I don't, I'm kind of scared to go mess with her because...
Well, I mean, she bonked her right on the top of the head and then sat right up after the fact, and Sheeta was all like,
dude. Dude says... Or Jonah Lee says Abadon or Rosemary more scarier.
Probably Abadon.
I don't know when Abadon. Yeah, probably.
Dude says the Young Bucks match was a great way to start off the show. I agree. If only Sting came back with the Wolfpack colors, that would have been epic. I loved the.
I like the black and white.
I loved the whole Sting segment. I thought it was so cool, and the whole idea behind it, I thought was really, really cool.
I think they should just explain what Abadon is. It's like the announcer with the mask. It took forever to explain why he even wore a mask. Well, the thing is I think that Abadon can be whatever you want her to be. If you want her to be a demon, she's a demon.
Well, people interpret it
If you want her to be a monster, she's a monster. If you want her to be a duck, she's a duck. I heard some news about Sonya Deville. What'd you hear, John? Now, I think you may be making the story, not being told it. I hope so. But don't think we will get that depth. At least it's better than it was. Yeah, I agree. And I think that, I don't know if they'll go in that depth, but I think it's something they could do to tie into the whole Japanese culture thing. And so if they do that, it would be interesting. By the way, hello, Jake. I don't know if I said that. Jeremy, the idea is you don't know what she is. That's why she is scary. That's right. The one red eye does it all. So then we have... What are we up to here?
Dasha with Jericho, Sammy Ortiz, and Jake.
Yes.
They'll be at ringside for MJF's match.
That is pretty exciting. Mr. G, you are a perfect fit to be on a writing team. John Elite, I've been saying that. Someone needs to hire me.
Definitely.
I could write a story. I could book this out and write this and have long-term booking. Jeez, internet by BT keeps dying. Jack, CPR it.
The Sting segment was so underwhelming, but come on, Mr. G, everyone has a gimmick, and they're not explaining her gimmick. Well, sometimes you don't need to explain the gimmick.
That's what I said.
Sometimes you just let the gimmick be what it is.
Whatever you want her to be, that's what she is. Monster. She's your deepest, darkest fear.
Sometimes you don't need to explain.
Yeah. Ranting Maven still hasn't came out. Well, I'm surprised.
So we have Kenny Omega and Don Callis, who arrived by helicopter. And then, Tony Schiavone is all like...
Futuristic Gamer, how you doing?
What is up?
Good to have you in.
So Tony Schiavone is, interviewing Kenny Omega or whatever, and he rips him a new one to begin with. He's like, what you did last week was despicable. Like, I can't believe you did what you did last week, and in the 47 years that I've been a part of this business, I've never seen anything like that, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. Blink, blink. And then... then Don says to Tony Khan, welcome to the wrestling business, kid. And Kenny's like, I didn't have family, I didn't have family and friends hired at the beginning, but I plotted and planned this for over a year. And, he pretty much said everything that he did last night, which is what I have an issue with. It's like, he said the same thing, but it wasn't comic books, it was something else. I don't know what he said. But it was like the same promos last night, and that's what I have a problem with, is like, okay, but we just came off of the Impact show yesterday, and you give us this tonight. We say that we're getting this announcement tonight, and we got nothing from this. And I don't know what I'm supposed to take out of this that I didn't take from last night. It's not giving me any more from this. So right off the bat, I'm not super happy with what they're doing with this. Like, it's not that I don't like it or I'm not willing to give it a chance. It's just like they're not really giving me anything that I should be excited to see or should be, wanting to watch or whatever.
As I said yesterday, you have to listen to what's being said.
But the thing about it is, though, is I listened to what they said. And I'm not the only person who's saying this stuff. Because I was looking at my Twitter timeline, and so many people were like, okay, so you had Kenny Omega on Impact yesterday. He cut a promo. And then he did it again tonight. This pretty much the same promo he did yesterday. So what was the point? What was the point? There needed to be a little bit more to it. There needed to be a bit more to it. If you wanted to touch the general basis of what he said yesterday, that is fine. But they needed to give us a little bit something else. Give us a little bit more to it to make us want to come back next week and see what he's going to say. Because I feel like right now, looking at it, he did not give me any of that.
Okay, but if you tie...
Also, Don Callis talks way too much and he needs to, stop.
The whole idea is to make you hate him.
But it's...
Which is perfect.
But it's not about hating
excellent.
him. It's just about he talks too much, and it's like, okay, but if we're supposed to be sitting here listening to Kenny Omega talk, then, why are you still speaking? Stop.
They needed something a little more... I agree, it was the same, apart from Schiavone being disappointed. That was all that was added. Was it the same?
Yeah, it was.
Or was it different?
Explain to me how it was different.
So here's what... And I don't know if this is where they're going to go with this. Okay? If you listen to what they said, they talked about the titles and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Which they touched on yesterday.
Wanting multiple titles.
Which they touched on yesterday with the whole comic book analogy.
And then they said something about history.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. They said something about being history or something like that. I mean, I'd have to go back and watch it again because I didn't write it down. And then right after, Omega did his bang. Right? Mm-hmm. So I think, and I don't know if they're going to do this. So here's what I think this could mean. He's telling them, I'm leaving. I'm not coming back. Mm-hmm. I will see you later. I'm the AEW champion. Mm-hmm. And you will not see me here for a while. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go take other titles in the process of this. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I think that this told more about where they're going with this.
But I don't feel like
without coming out and telling you this is what they're going to do.
But okay, we already knew that he was going to go back and forth between Impact and AEW.
You talking about tonight or Dynamite, Mr. G? Because it was the same. I think tonight he. You mean last night or tonight? You talking about tonight or Dynamite? Tonight was Dynamite.
Whatever, I think it means Impact yesterday.
I think that the fact that he said it's history, that the whole history thing, I think that adds to this, because I think it tells you he came back to AEW to say, I'm history. I'm gone. You guys will not see me here. I am done on AEW after tonight.
But I don't think that's what he's going to say.
We'll have to see where they go with this. If they go with this,
and I say with from tonight, it was the same thing as yesterday, and it had nothing to do with him saying, I'm leaving AEW, and I'm not doing that. That's not what I got from this. What I got was what he said yesterday, which was, I won all the gold. Okay, great, but you didn't say anything further. And so...
Omega last night plus Omega tonight equals more clues, which is what I think we're going to get. I think he's leaving AEW to go pursue these other belts.
Okay, great. And
is what I think is happening.
AEW title with him.
So yes,
great.
So I think he's telling
AEW doesn't have a champion on their show. Great.
Wait, don't sit here and don't look more into it than that. Look at the fact that he's leaving. And what I think is I think that what's going to happen... Boys, stop fighting. Jeez, reminds me of my class.
Continue on.
And I teach 5th graders. And 4th graders. And 6th graders. I think where they're going with this is he is going to go and chase down titles elsewhere. I don't know that it's one of those things that you sit here and you go, that if you watch it, I think what you'll see is you'll see an AEW match on another show. Because I think what's going to happen is they're going to go to Impact, or they're going to go to Ring of Honor, or they're going to go to the NWA, and they're going to have an AEW match where someone's going to go, hey, you know what? I'm coming for you, Kenny.
Which is fine.
I'm coming to bring the title back to our show.
Okay. But I didn't get any of that from either of the promos that I watched over the last 2 days.
Well, the promo yesterday was, I want more titles.
Like, I just...
Boys, quit fighting.
I'm not getting that from either of these promos.
I had an occupational therapy appointment today. I'm still absolutely nowhere, but I think I'm a baby step towards the goal of not letting my disability affect me too badly. Good job, Jack.
Well, that's good. I just didn't get this from either of these promos.
Last night was the setup that he wants to go win more championships. Tonight, I think, was I'm leaving AEW, and I'm not coming back.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to chase down more titles. I got what I wanted from you guys.
Fine.
I'm history. Bang. See ya. I'm gone. That is what I got out of this.
I didn't get that.
There was a lot said without saying a lot.
I didn't get that from either of these promos.
There was a lot
of clues,
but
what this takes
without
is
saying
you
a
to
lot
be
and without doing a lot.
And I'm sorry, that's not what I am. I'm not like, looking around with a magnifying glass, okay? The problem I have with this is, like, you're digging really deep, and you're,
Starring
like,
John?
looking through all these things, but, like, looking at it from the, like, outside of just looking at it the way it was, I'm not, I don't know. I'm not getting it.
I get it. The thing is you have to listen to words beyond the words.
Okay. But are most people doing that?
And without coming in and
Based on what I've seen, from what people have said.
Does this always happen during stream? No, Future just a gamer.
What I've seen on Twitter and what people have said is that they didn't get this. And it was the same promo as yesterday, and what was the point? you're digging really deep, which is fine, and that's cool. But, like, I'm not getting that from it. Just looking at the promos, the way they did them, they're exactly the same as one another. So, I don't know.
I didn't get that from... You have to dig deeper than what it is.
Which most people are not.
Bye, guys. Good night. I need sleep. See you, Jake.
So, I don't know.
It's one of those things that have a good one, Jake. I think you have to look deeper than what was done here. All right, you have to look beyond what was said. You have to look at what the possibility of having something beyond what is out there. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, Anthony?
What is up? Yeah, I guess I get it. I don't know. I didn't get that from this.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people didn't. And I think you're
Yes.
reaching and trying to dig in deep to get the information out of this. It's cool, and it might be where they're going with this, but, like, looking at it on... Yeah, dude, don't start with those comments, bro. Don't even. I've been silent the entire time. Don't. You don't want to do it. I guarantee you don't want to do it. Stop, right now. I will end it. And it will end with people being gone. So don't. I'm not getting that from this. So, I don't know.
Yep. The thing is, I think you have to look beyond, and it's creating the story, making the story, without telling you the story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You need a champion on AEW, you can just have to admit. I don't think you need the champion on AEW. Not if it's telling the story. And the story here would be Omega leaves. He goes chasing down all these other titles because he wants to have these multiple titles. And so it's like Starting John said, like he's the collector. I'm leaving AEW. I'm going to collect other championships. I will be leaving AEW.
Which, again, like I said, is cool, and I'm totally cool with that. But that's not what I got from this promo.
When he said history, I'm history. That's like, peace out, Girl Scout. You guys no longer have me. I have the belt that I want. Now, I'm going to go get other belts.
I don't know.
You're okay, dude.
Yeah, dude, you're fine. Sorry, I forgot. We have somebody in the chat actually named Dude. Not you. Just, more specifically, people in general. Not you. You're
Yes.
great. You're fine. You're new
good,
here.
dude.
Yeah. So I don't know.
If he's collecting titles, he doesn't need to be on AEW. They just need to reference him getting the titles. The problem is if you're going to build your stars and have your stars be out there, you have to you have to reference him and have him out there and do the things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If we go, I'm cool with it, but why would I watch Dynamite if I can get all the information from Impact? I don't think you're going to get all the information from Impact. I think the information you got from Impact, he wanted to collect the titles. I think the reason he came back tonight was to say, later, I'm gone.
But that's not what I got from this, though. And that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, okay, it's cool that you got that from this, but me and a whole lot of other people did not get that.
Well, good. Just remember where you heard the breaking information.
That is fine.
You heard the breaking information right here on the Wrestle Story from Mister Gleen.
But majority of people didn't. What they saw was the exact same promo from yesterday, and it was like, what was the point of needing to come in and watch Dynamite and this Kenny Omega promo if it was exactly the same as what happened on Impact yesterday?
He didn't come tell AEW bye. That's the point I'm making. Tonight he came back and he told AEW, I've got your title. I'm taking it. Adios. Peace out. I'm history. Bang. He told everybody tonight on AEW he's gone. And I'm going elsewhere to get more titles. That was the point of tonight. Last night set up everything. Last night was, I need more comic books. I need more titles. I need to have all of this. And the reason he did it last night was, A, since he was with Callis, and the whole idea is to have him, have this big impact on Impact, okay? B, since it was with Don Callis, who is with Impact, so they put him on an Impact show. We've already seen him work with NWA. So he came back tonight. He came back tonight for a reason. It wasn't, he could have done it last night, but it's not the same effect. It's not the same effect as him bringing you to his show, their show, with their title, and telling them, peace out. I'm done. I will now go chase titles elsewhere. You will not see me. I am history. Bang. Gone.
I just didn't get that from this.
Go back and watch it.
That's what I'm saying. He did the whole goodbye, goodnight thing yesterday.
But they also talked about being history.
I don't care. I didn't get that from this. It was the same thing as yesterday.
Well, that's fine. You can say it's the same thing. He came back tonight to tell AEW goodbye. That's why he came back tonight to say it.
I don't know.
He did the cleaner gimmick last night. The whole idea tonight was to come tell AEW, I'm out. I'm leaving.
I didn't get that from this, though. But I didn't.
That's why he did it.
But I did not get that from this. That's what I'm saying. So it is announced that next week we are getting Cody versus Angelico, SCU versus The Acclaimed, Serena Deeb and Big Swole versus Diamante and Ivelisse. And then December 23rd, we are having a special start time. I don't know what that is. And then December 30th, we have night 1 of New Year's Smash, and January 6th is night 2 of New Year's Smash. So we have those to look forward to. So after this, we have MJF versus Orange Cassidy. I like this match. I thought this was done well.
Yeah, I thought this was good.
So,
I don't know that I like the ending, but
I feel like the ending was a bit, jumbled up, and
But I thought overall, it was good.
Yeah, I understand why we did it, because we're trying to lead into something else with
It's always reading mine. It's kind of inconvenient. What a debate from y'all. We try futuristic game when we try.
I don't know. Anyways, so, 10 p.m. or immediately following the NBA is what they said for December 23rd.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
This is a rehash storyline he had at New Japan talking about Kenny Omega. The only thing is I think he's going to expand. I think literally he's going to go for every... He is going to go after NWA. I think he'll go after Impact. They've done some stuff with MLW, so I think he'll go after the MLW title. And New Japan, I wouldn't be shocked if they've got something going on with them. So yes, it may be a rehash of the storyline in New Japan, but I think he will literally go after all the titles that are out there. I think that's where we're headed with this. The ending was kind of a letdown. I felt like it was watching a Paul Heyman show, a lot of stuff happening at once. Yeah, that's what I said. I just, I didn't feel that this was, the ending was, super good on this one. The Shaq promo was amazing. I think you got to think that, or people will be upset. No, I just think that I didn't think the Shaq promo was good because there was no tie into the story on why he's there.
And it doesn't make a whole lot
However,
of sense.
if you go back and you look at Twitter,
but the
it
thing
would
about
make a little more sense.
The thing about it that I said is he has contractual obligation or whatever that he has to be on an AEW show. Okay, but they could have built it up in an actual story. I don't know. This is not the way to do it. It's so weird and upside down and inside out with the way they're doing it with Jade and Brandy, but they're trying to tie in Shaq, and it's I don't even know how Shaq and Jade know each other, and none of it makes sense, and I just don't get it. That and then the Kenny Omega segment were the two things on the show that I just didn't get. I didn't understand the point of either of those segments.
Well, the Shaq thing, I think, is more a TNT thing. I think they probably told him, "Hey, he's got to be on here."
But the thing about it
is, I don't know. How do you tie Shaq into a storyline?
I already told you. They have Shaq put out the tweet or whatever and be like, "I want to fight Cody Rhodes," and then you have Cody respond to it on a show and be like, "Ha, yeah, Shaq thinks he could come in and wrestle for me." Or he wants to wrestle me, yeah, whatever, what a joke. And then Shaquille O'Neal can show up and be like, "Come on, dude, say it to my face." The
thing is, this wasn't, so anybody that knows, or anybody that doesn't know about it, this wasn't about. I don't think AEW would have done. I don't think AEW would have done the Shaq thing. This is more a TNT thing. This was part of his deal with Warner Media. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that this was AEW's doing. I don't think that their idea, bringing him in, was their idea.
Probably not, but they had to have known about it to, like, write it in and be able to get him on,
Well, maybe if they get a stupid storyline out there, people just go, we don't want to see Shaq again ever. So, and then they'll tell Warner Media, hey, you know what? His ratings sucked and we couldn't do anything about it. And so that's it.
Okay, I mean, that I don't know, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And you have people sitting here going, what? Huh?
It's a cross promotion of some sort.
A cross promotion that doesn't make sense.
This was his last, because it's part of his contract with Warner Media. And so it's a weird way of doing it, but okay. I agree, it's a weird way of doing it, but this is about TNT and not so much AEW.
Weird way of doing it, but okay. Yeah, man.
Because this was part of the whatever contract he has with Warner Media, this is apparently part of the deal, was him being put into the getting into the wrestling. Mm-hmm. The great booking AEW has, and they didn't book Shaq, right? Usually, no, they don't. Mr. G, can you please read my comment from before? I would if I, like, it's like...
Retype
the chat is flying by so fast!
Just retype it in the chat. If you want us to read the comment, just retype it so we can read it.
And I'll get to it.
The issue is, it's not about, like, okay...
Do they really need Shaq? No, Futuristic Gamer, I don't think they need Shaq, but it's part of TNT. This isn't an AEW thing. I think this is more of which could have been why they teased him like 3 weeks ago. And then they were like, well, how are we going to pull him into this? I mean, how can we pull him in here? Because this isn't like, what are we going to do with Shaq?
I don't know. Like I said, if they had some notice and they knew, which I'm assuming they probably did, and they were just like, okay, well, we just have to, like, throw this in here and do whatever. All of our stuff just, like, disappeared.
Yeah, it's because you, like, messed with it.
Because I messed with it. It's okay. I'll fix it.
I'm sure they knew. But you still have to figure out a way to bring Shaq into your stupid storyline. I mean, I don't understand.
You have him put out the tweet, Cody responds to it on the show, and you have Shaq show up.
Mr. G, read it quick. So Anthony said, Maven, do you think AEW is setting up a stable with Lance Archer, Neville, Pentagon, Ray, Fenix?
I don't think that Lance Archer is going to be a part of it. I think it's just going to continue being Pac, Pentagon, and Fenix. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But, like, they could have had Shaq show up on the show and like, respond to Cody being all like, oh, bah, ha, 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 he could never wrestle me. Like, just have Cody be a jerkwad about it. And then you have Shaq show up on the show and he's all like, say it to my face, dude. You really want to go on like this? Like, say it to my face. And then they fight. Like, I don't know.
The thing is, I don't know that it's not... I mean, we can sit here and talk about, well, they need to, like, work him into a storyline. I mean, what storyline are you going to work him into?
What did I just say? Have him do the one-off thing with Cody. And then have him leave. Have him lose. And have him leave. If all he has to do is make a couple appearances, because his contract says he has to make a couple appearances, at least make them make sense. Don't have people sitting there like, what was the point of that?
Well, I was sitting there going, what was the point of bringing him in the first place?
But they could have made it make sense. That's what I'm saying. If they want to be all like, okay, well, Shaq put out this tweet. Oh, it's just in good fun. Okay. Play up the tweet then. Actually mention it on television. Have Cody respond to it. Have Shaq get all up in Cody's face instead of Jade. Are you kidding me? They could have done it so differently. But they didn't. They just chose to do this weird interview thing with Shaq on the show with Brandy. Because we're getting Jade and Brandy in a fight.
Well,
what?
We're getting Jade and Brandy, but they're trying... I think...
No, but you can't explain it because you literally have... You're like, well, I don't know what story they could do with her because it's just... I don't know. When I'm literally telling you that's how they could have done it.
The story is Cody's going to come defend her honor is what's going to be. That's the story.
Well, it's dumb the way they're doing it right now, and it doesn't make sense.
If you're going to have Shaq on the show, at least have the thing make damn sense.
That's what I'm saying.
The thing is like I said, we can sit here and say, okay, this is AEW's fault. This isn't AEW's fault. This was them, like, you know,
I'm
this
not
is TNT telling them to put something in.
AEW's fault. But
So,
they had to know. Their show is on TNT. They're not just going to spring it on them the day of and go, oh, hey, by the way, Shaq is going to be on your show tonight. By the way. I'm sure they didn't do that. So I'm sure that they knew. So I'm sure that they could have come up with something that slightly made sense over what the heck they did here.
Well, I just think it was, the whole point of it is, the thing is pointless anyway. And so...
Exactly, it was rubbish. They knew about it for weeks because they built it up for weeks. Jade should have attacked Brandy. Cody steps in to protect Brandy. Shaq steps up to him. Pretty easy. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it could have been easy. It doesn't even have to be super difficult. Like, it doesn't take a freaking rocket scientist to, like, figure this out. It's an easy thing. If they had to put him on the show because it's in his contract,
okay, but
come up with a simple storyline. He has one match with Cody on a Dynamite or the whatever, and then he's gone.
But I think this
he's done what he wanted.
I mean, doing it that way would have been the same way as do what they did now. I mean, you have Shaq basically, you know, having stuff thrown in his face and is going to be upset and angry, and so she's going to come to, or Cody's going to come defend her honor. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
But it's a stupid way of getting there.
That's an example of what's typical for the stream. Welcome to Maven's Rants at the Wrestle Story.
But it's a stupid way to get there.
Yeah, well, it is, but I'm almost say it's not. I'm just saying it's... If Tyson Fury fought Strowman in a one-off fight, I'm sure Shaq can fight Cody. Definitely, yeah.
So anyways, MJF and Orange Cassidy, this kind of turned into a lumberjack match because the best friends brought out some people to counteract the Inner Circle.
I'm enjoying it, and the opinions are fine, but the yelling gets my nerves. Here, we'll fix that here in just a second. I'll fix that for you.
So
she's like right by the mic, so.
I'm not right by the mic.
You are.
I'm scrunched down. I'm not even close to the microphone.
But you keep doing this.
Because I move a lot. Sorry.
Read Futuristic's last comment. I'm enjoying it, and the opinions are fine, but the yellings gets my ears.
Man. So, I think Shaq was in an interview due to COVID. He's old and they don't want him near many people.
Maybe it's passionate and loud.
Sorry, my apologies.
Yes.
My apologies.
We will never speak of the terrible match between Strowman and Fury.
Oh, that was bad. So this turned into sort of a lumberjack match type of situation. There was like a big fight on the outside, which distracted the referee. Miro came to the ring, clothesline Orange Cassidy, and then MJF pinned Cassidy and retains the diamond ring. Miro then beats up a whole bunch of security guards. I was like, okay, well this was just kind of like there was a lot of it. It was very jumbled up. Not my favorite thing. They could have done like a clean match, but they chose to do it a different way because they're trying to build up this feud between Miro and Orange Cassidy, which is fine. But I think we could have done it in a little bit of a different way. But it was a fine match. It was a good match. I didn't have any issue with it. I'm glad MJF still has the Dynamite Diamond.
Yes.
You have anything to add about this?
No. Loud. No. Surely not. No. Futures Gamer. Think Shaq's was interviewed due to COVID. Oh, that one.
I read that comment.
I think...
And you didn't listen to me.
Yeah, I did.
Whatever.
They got it. I thought he was talking about, the yelling.
Nah.
We don't want to hurt Futuristic Gamers' ears.
Nah. So... Yeah.
Overall, I didn't think it was a bad show.
I really didn't think it was a bad show. Like, the only issues
we didn't mix her to even her sound out. You should make a goal for that, Mr. G. Speaking of goals, I'm disappointed I don't see a donation bar up there for the Mr. G RV fund, slacker. Yeah, I know.
I thought the show was good.
I thought it was good. Sorry.
I thought the show was good. I thought the Young Bucks had a really good match. I thought that the Darby Allen segment was good. I really love the Sting segment. I thought that was done really well. And FTR just being built back up to go after the tag team titles. That's totally cool. I'm cool with that. The whole Adam Page with the Dark Order. I'm really intrigued by that. The Shaq stuff doesn't make sense to me. The Inner Circle segment, genius, brilliant, loved that. The Kingston Butcher Blade Archer Pentagon Fenix match, that was okay. I think that was fine. I think it's just the continuation of the story from a couple weeks ago. Abadon and the Sheeta stuff, I'm not necessarily feeling that too much. Not a super big fan of that right now. Kenny Omega, same promos last week. Not a fan. And then MJF from Orange Cassidy. It was cool. That's cool.
Yes.
It's cool. So
MJF will be champion at some point in time.
They missed the mark. MJF should have been champion when he was doing the president gimmick and lost to Moxley. I agree and disagree with that statement. I think that, I don't think that Moxley didn't necessarily need to lose to MJF in that situation. Like, so they probably shouldn't have put MJF in that situation to begin with. For right now, I think that if they wanted to do that, they should have waited a little bit until they took the title off of Jon Moxley and then did the whole MJF thing. Because I don't really think it helped either one of them. I mean, I think the MJF, carried it and was good, and his whole presidential gimmick was great, and I loved it. But I think the whole match itself, it was just, I don't know. Because I don't know that I necessarily would have been happy if MJF beat Moxley. I'm not a big fan of Moxley's title run. Like,
Mr. J, please tell Minnie M she is wrong for me.
I'm not a huge fan of Moxley's title run.
You want to know my thoughts here?
What?
Kenny Omega leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Leaving. Right? Not coming back. Mm-hmm. Right? He's already said I'm not coming back.
Okay.
I'm history.
In your mind,
I'm going to get other titles.
In your mind, yes.
Okay?
Yeah. In your mind, again.
He goes.
In Mr. G's mind. Continue on. Sorry, just needed to make that clear.
He leaves. MJF meets him, and this is just saying that they get all these other organizations involved, okay? Mm-hmm. MJF was in Major League Wrestling right before, or while at the beginning of this whole AEW stuff. He was kind of doing both shows. Mm-hmm. What if MJF chases down Moxley at a Major League Wrestling match or show and brings the title back to AEW?
And then MJF is the hero. I don't mind that. That could be fun.
And then he comes back and goes, check this out.
He could be all like, and now all you people love me, and now all you people love me because I dethroned Kenny Omega. Ha! I still hate all of you.
I brought the title back.
That would be brilliant.
And you guys couldn't do it.
Well, that too. I mean, he could be arrogant about it, which, that's fine. I didn't like Moxley's title run. It didn't do anything for me. It really didn't. Like, when he won the title, it was fine. It was fine. It was fine. But I didn't love his entire title run. I mean, the matches he had with Brody Lee, not a huge fan. The Eddie Kingston stuff was crap. The star of that match was the bottle of rubbing alcohol. The stuff with Lance Archer was fine. The Kenny Omega stuff was fine. Like, I wasn't a fan. And it's not that I don't like Jon Moxley, because I think Jon Moxley's fine. I just didn't like the title reign. I don't think he should have had the title, because I think he had matches against people that shouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
So, like, what are you going to do with him? Not put him in that position in the first place?
Well, I think Moxley, in my opinion,
don't know.
Moxley shouldn't have the title. I think that Moxley should be... the thing with him is it's like Ant said, he should be chasing the title, and I don't even know that he should be chasing the title. Mm-hmm. He's just one that I wouldn't give the title to just because of his character, and his character is not built for having the title. It goes back to like the whole Fiend thing. The Fiend should never have the title ever, ever, because he's a hunter, and when you try to make the hunter the hunted. Mm-hmm. It's hard to tell stories, and it doesn't have the same effect with the storylines.
I mean, who did Jon Moxley fight? Aside from those
Moxley
people
and that Kari stole and say,
mentioned.
What's up, beep? Moxley is amazing chasing the title. Just when he gets it, he turns it into wet fish.
Wet fish.
Well, again, I think the issue you have is because of him being the chaser, right? It's tough to try and make things look good once you're on top. Mm-hmm. It's like anything else. You look at, if you have a champion, look at any sport. If you have someone that's won the title and is a champion, and everybody looks at them and goes, I want to see them lose now. And so the whole idea of Moxley being being the chaser or the one that's hunting down someone for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's just hard to carry a storyline over when you are not, or when you are a hunter and not not one that's supposed to be hunted.
Yeah, man.
So I don't think you can. I mean, we can sit here and talk about Moxley and like he looked bad. I just think that the same effect isn't there.
I don't know, man. He had matches. He had matches against Kenny Omega, Eddie Kingston. Like, the Kenny Omega feud was fine. It was fine. The Eddie Kingston feud, that match, man, that I Quit match was terrible. Like I said, the rubbing alcohol was the star of that match. Lance Archer didn't care for that. Like, I don't know the point of that. The MJF stuff was fine.
The Fiend is like Taker. Taker didn't need the belt to make him who he was. Yeah, I mean, that's just it.
You had Darby
People's
Allen.
chance. Moxley is a wet fish. Moxley is a wet fish.
You had Darby Allen.
Moxley is a wet fish.
Like, he fought Darby Allen a couple times.
How much fish can Bobby Fish flay?
Bobby Fish
fry?
flay? Bobby
Whatever.
Fish flay?
Fillet.
Excuse me. How much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish?
Yeah, that's it. I loved it when Moxley beat the Green Ranger at Full Gear. Joking, it was one of the worst things on the show apart from Nyla Rose cosplaying as Mega Man. What the devil? Yes. What's a better term for what WWE did with giving the Fiend the title? WWE shooting themselves in the foot or booking themselves in a corner?
Either work.
Yeah, I mean, either one. Because I think anytime you have a hunter take the title, it's tough. Mm-hmm. Wet fish. I was going to turn it into a song, but we might get copyrighted, so I don't want to do that. There's probably some song out there called Wet Fish. Maven is disrespecting Moxley. I'm leaving. It's not disrespecting Moxley. It's just one of those things.
His title run just hasn't been it.
I'm going to go to sleep. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the stream. Peace out. Good night, Jack. Have a good one. See you Friday, tomorrow, whenever we see you again.
Yeah, we're doing an NXT UK, NXT stream tomorrow. So
I'm sure I'll see you tweet something on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'll probably like it.
Probably.
Adam Page. Are we talking about Adam Page? If you didn't listen to what I think they should do with Adam Page earlier,
I don't think he was in here.
Go back and watch our show from earlier. Page,
well, that's
but
helpful. You could
might not with IWGP against his golden lover,
Mr. G.
Kota Ibushi.
Mr. G, you shouldn't sing. Yeah, you shouldn't sing.
I'm a good singer.
I'm
insane. I watched Ant's stream, and you all stream. You are insane, Futuristic Gamer. What are you thinking?
So in other news,
Guten Nacht. Goodbye. I'll see everyone.
Peace out, Jack.
I'm assuming that means goodbye in German.
Maybe.
Or Norwegian, or
I don't know.
Something.
I don't know.
I think you're a lovely singer, Mr. G. I try.
Yeah.
I'm so good, we got copyrighted.
So
we had a copyright strike. That's how good I am.
In other news,
I think that's goodbye.
No, Mr. G, you're not.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you're not a good singer.
You're insane, Futuristic. That's way too much wrestling.
In other news, the other thing today that's kind of come about is that it looks like Goldberg is coming back to fight Roman Reigns.
Goldberg.
Before anybody even starts with me, okay, the issue I have with this is not because it's an old timer coming back to wrestle and everybody's like, oh, well, if you're fine with Sting coming back, you should be fine with Goldberg coming back. No, this is me having an issue with Goldberg. It has nothing to do with old timers coming back.
Yes, that's right. If Ric Flair came back, she'd be going, woo!
Whatever, okay? I don't really like Ric Flair either, so, I mean, probably not. But, I don't have a problem with old timers coming back. I don't have a problem with that. The issue that I have is that it's Goldberg. And I don't like Goldberg. I've never liked him. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's great. I don't like him at all. I think he's pretty much trash. I think he's really full of himself. I think he thinks that he's really good, and he's really not. I think he talks like a fool. Like today, he went on the bump and was like, yeah, Roman Reigns, he uses my move at subpar level, so I would like to fight him again. Like, shut up, dude. What? Stop, you fool. Like, I don't understand this. I don't know, like, why do they think this is what people want to see? Because it's not. 90% of my timeline, when that news came out, was like, why? Why though? Like, what's the point? So apparently WWE thinks that they've got Sting on AEW, so the counterpart to that is bring Goldberg back to WWE. Ooh! Woo! You're really gonna get some people there. Because Goldberg's just great. He knocks himself out before he goes to wrestle. So, and then when he goes out there, I don't know that you can classify what he does as wrestling. Fumbling around the ring? Being concussed? I mean, sure. If that's what you want to see, fine. But personally? No thanks, dude. I'm good. I don't want to see it. I don't like Roman Reigns to begin with. And then you add Goldberg on top of that. I didn't want to see them fight at WrestleMania this past year. Didn't want to see it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't like either of them. And I don't care. So stop putting it on television, WWE. It's not helping you. And how it makes Roman look even better is beyond me because I don't know how you can use that as an argument. Because I don't think it's going to make Roman Reigns look better. It doesn't take much to beat Goldberg, okay? Especially when he's concussed. You could probably flick him in the head and he'd fall over and you could get the pinfall. So, I don't really, I don't get it.
Let's see here. Mr. G wants to see it. No, I don't want to see it. I'm a Goldberg fan, but I don't want to see it. The issue is the story. You honestly think Goldberg is going to tell a decent story with Roman?
No!
Nope. Which is why I think that, and especially with the story they're going with Roman, I don't think it works. I don't think it should happen because the story you're going with, because if you're going to do that, then you're going to end up killing the story you already have going on with Roman. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that.
But the point isn't Reigns squashing Goldberg, though. That's not the point of it. Like,
it doesn't help the story at all.
Who wants to see that? No, it doesn't help the story. And
so
what's
I don't
the
think
point
that having
of
Goldberg
wasting time
versus
putting it in the main event of a pay-per-view and having Roman Reigns squashing Goldberg and the show? Are you freaking kidding me? Nobody in their right mind would pay good money to see that on a pay-per-view.
I don't think
it wouldn't happen.
Futuristic Gamer, it's like how WWE thought they wanted Shane with extra TV time, but nobody at home never wanted that. I quote Kevin Owens. Yes, it's not good. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? By the way, that's a question and not a tongue twister. Well, he would chuck a lot of it. Who's next? James, you can be next if you want to be. Goldberg and Undertaker match showed it's over for Goldberg. Well, I think the fact that he knocked himself out didn't help. It's great booking. They're trying to build Roman as his ultimate bad butt, and you have him beat another tough guy who doesn't lose. He beats him and builds his credit up more. I don't think so because I don't think it ties into the story. No. Because the whole Roman thing is about family and trying to
as last I checked,
be
Goldberg
the head of the table for
family.
the family.
Last I checked, Goldberg
and I don't think it works. Kevin Owens should be quoted more. Yes, I hope Reigns squashes Goldberg. To be honest, proving he is the head of the table. Why don't they do Rock versus Reigns at WrestleMania? I think we're headed that way, dude. Just don't know. I think we're headed that way. To Jeremy in terms of the match, but Goldberg isn't going to let Roman pick him apart in the build like he did with Drew. No, I think that the one thing about it is
Goldberg is too full of himself to let anybody do that.
Well, I think the thing is, I don't think it ties in.
Like, come on, people.
But even with the Drew thing, the whole Drew thing, you had Jay tied into the story. So
how are we tying Jay into the Goldberg story?
This is about right now. Reigns is the whole thing with him. The whole story with him is he's head of the table, but you have to tie the family into the story somehow. And I don't think you can tie Jay into the story.
Maven Goldberg is
Count
a legend.
me out of this crap. I'll try my best.
Maven Goldberg is a legend, such disrespect. A legend how? What has he done that makes him legendary status? Because I'm still looking.
All we need is Jimmy versus Roman Reigns.
I am still looking.
I think we're headed that way.
To see what makes him a legend. Because I don't see it.
Goldberg just had a heart attack. Actually, that was Gilbert that had a heart attack.
Yeah.
We get start the chance Gilbert.
If concussing yourself makes you a legend, then my sister is like
a legend.
I mean, Tab's a freaking legend. She's
Yeah.
had like 2 concussions, 3 concussions. She slipped in a pool because she's
It
great.
could be a tag match.
I mean,
Roman and Jay versus Goldberg and the chubby son.
jeez.
He sends Jay to attack Goldberg, and Goldberg splashes him, so Reigns had to step up for family. Again, #book. I don't think it works,
Again,
though.
hashtag, I don't see how that works.
I will pay to see Goldberg versus Roman. I just don't think it does it.
Also, when people want to throw this argument at me, like, this has nothing to do with Goldberg wrestling Roman Reigns. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. But when people want to throw this argument at me, they're like, if you're okay with Sting being in the ring and wrestling, why are you not okay with Goldberg being in the ring and wrestling? Okay, 2 different things here. One, okay, when they brought Goldberg back, what did they do with him? They threw the title on him when he returned. He beat Kevin Owens for a title so he could fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, right? For what? We're not putting a title on Sting. That's not happening. That's 2 totally different things. 2 totally different things, if I recall. So it's not about having an issue with like bringing legends back to fight, or like old timers or whatever you want to call them. It's about what they do with him, and what they've done with Goldberg hasn't been good, and he's proven that he's not very good because, like I said, he's concussed himself a couple times and has had matches and stuff, and it's been concussed, and they haven't looked good. We haven't seen anything out of Sting in I don't know how long. So I don't know.
Well, again, I think the one thing about him is
But explain to me, how is he a legend though? How is he a legend? What did he do? What did he do that made him a legend?
Well, if
I don't care that he went
here's the thing,
undefeated in WCW for however many days he went undefeated in WCW. I don't care. You want to go out there? You want to make yourself look like a fool? That's fine. You do that. But to me, that's not being a legend. Sorry, it's not. So I don't know how he's a legend.
Because he's just like Hulk Hogan.
For how?
Because he couldn't wrestle. Goldberg couldn't wrestle. He was a terrible wrestler.
Okay.
But the fact that he drew the crowd in.
How? I don't know.
And made the people like him. That is
how?
why he got
I don't know. I've never liked the guy.
We've had this talk before. I'm going to be off, guys. It's 5:30 here in the UK. Got to work in the afternoon. Thank you for the chat. Hopefully more to come in the future. Thank you, dude. We would love to have you back. Thanks for... Oh, by the way, we are going to do a NXT... Well, you work in the afternoon tomorrow, so it's not going to make any difference. Well, it'll be evening where you are, so maybe you will be home. We're going to do NXT UK tomorrow afternoon, our time, and I don't even know what time it starts. I think it's 2 o'clock. Which would be like 8 o'clock your time, I believe. We're going to do a live UK show.
Yeah, NXT UK. Can you say Hall of Famer, Maven? The WWE Hall of Fame doesn't mean jack squat. They have Donald Trump in their Hall of Fame, okay? So...
And Cyndi Lauper is not.
It doesn't take much to get in there. Okay, listen, he beat people in little time. Yeah, so that's history. Yeah, tell me about it, man. Goldberg was a huge draw. I don't care. He's not a legend.
Yeah, so it's 2 o'clock our time, 8 o'clock your guys' time.
This is the Ric Flair thing all over again.
But don't watch it, watch ours. And don't ever come in here to our channel and do that.
What do you mean by this is the Ric Flair thing all over again? You'll have to explain that. So I don't know. He's not to me, he's not a draw. I don't think he's good. And I think that, okay, maybe in his prime, like if people liked him, fine. But now, no. When you're concussing yourself before you go out there to wrestle, I think that you probably...
But I think he did that when he was before. This is nothing new.
But I don't care. You make yourself look like a fool, and you put on a match with a guy like The Undertaker who clearly looks angry at you in this match. He's like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? Are you freaking kidding me? You concuss yourself before, like, our match. What a freaking joke. You telling us Ric Flair isn't a good wrestler. I never said he wasn't a good wrestler. I just said I don't like him. I think he's overrated. That's what I think. I think that people hype him up way too much. I think that, yeah, he's had a fine career. But he's not in my top 5 list of wrestlers. I don't know that I'd put him in my top 10.
Ric Flair was the ultimate heel.
I don't like him. I don't see the charm. I don't get it. So, yeah. I don't think he's good. I don't like him. I think he's overrated. I think he's overrated. I said it, folks. Rip me to shreds. Go ahead.
Goldberg is not a good wrestler. He is a draw. He was a main eventer at the time when wrestling was more popular than ever before. Will it be entertaining? Probably not. The thing about Goldberg was he was at a time where big guys were like what people wanted to see. I mean, that's what everybody wanted to see. They wanted to see the big guys do things, and so it was the big guys just destroying people. And that's what they did with Goldberg is they brought him in, he destroyed everybody, and that's why he got a big draw.
Maybe go back and watch Goldberg's matches. That should tell you why he's a legend. But I don't want to go back and watch a Goldberg match. That's the thing. Goldberg doesn't interest me. I've seen some of his stuff before. I've seen the old stuff. I've seen the new stuff. I don't care.
Again, it goes back to the fact he wasn't a wrestler. It was him destroying people. That's what he was.
Well, great. That's fine. If he wants to destroy all the little guys, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of it at all. I think it's stupid.
But that's how you got people over. You had the
beat somebody, beat people 173 days in a row, have them be your champion for 173 days, go undefeated for 173 days, and build nobody else up in the process. Oh, but that's good. That's good storytelling.
It was a story.
It's great storytelling. You have nobody else get a shot to be anywhere. It's like Brock Lesnar. And that's why I don't like Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's not true either, because, no, it's not, because it wasn't just, like, they had more matches that happened. And the thing is they use more jobbers back then than they do now.
And my issue...
which is what AEW does. I mean,
my
AEW
issue still remains
with
with jobbers, where I think using jobbers to get your talent over is stupid, because I don't understand how it gets your talent over, because I think it's stupid.
Because it's another win.
But is it really? Beating up the 2'5" guy?
Well, you have a choice. I mean, when you're in an organization, you only have so many people that can do the things that need to be done.
It's a joke.
And you can't. The thing is, you can't just. I mean, then you get matches like we always have in some organizations where it's just the same matches happening every week.
But they don't have to do that because they have billions of people on their roster that they choose not to use. So they could be building up people.
Well, because the stories aren't there. You have to have an intriguing storyline.
But that's the problem. They could build up stories.
You have to have the people that
beating jobbers every week isn't a story. I'm sorry, it's not. I don't understand how that's building somebody up. Killer Cross on NXT, beating the jobber guys week after week. Everybody's like, this is such good stuff. This is amazing. Look at Killer Cross. What? For beating up the, shrimp? Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? That's good wrestling? That's storytelling? That's why NXT sucks. Because that's what they do with their big-time wrestlers.
Kenny hasn't lost
a single match. They don't beat anybody else in the division except the little guys.
Kenny hasn't lost a match in 400-plus days, so he's a bigger legend than Goldberg now. I don't want to set the world on fire. Okay, Brock. I have to not agree. Brock had great matches with wrestlers. Like, for example, Ricochet vs. Brock Lesnar. It was great. The thing about Brock was he just, was there sometimes and sometimes he wasn't.
That's the issue I have with him.
Ricochet was lost, but it was great.
Was it, though? I don't even remember that happening. TBH, AEW has done that before. And I don't love it. I just don't like jobber matches.
She doesn't. She hates jobber
matches. I think they're stupid. I I think there's no point to them.
It doesn't matter where the jobber match is. She's like, well, this is stupid. That was dumb.
Hey, Cross is great, and beating up jobbers builds new stars. Yeah, totally, dude. Totally.
Yeah. Having stars beat jobbers does not... I'm not sure what you can say. Does nothing for the jobbers, okay. All it does is prove that they're dominant. That's just it. I mean, that's the whole idea.
But the Young Bucks doing spike pile drivers outside the ring, not finishing... What? But the Young Bucks doing spike pile drivers outside, and the match not finishing on that is
spike
good
pile,
wrestling,
they're
right?
way more entertaining than the spear. Yeah. Plus the fact it's in the middle of, like,
plus
action
the fact
that's
that
happened.
There's a story going along
Yeah,
with it,
I mean,
and, like, what is... I don't see the comparison. Personally.
I watched a scene from Total Divas years ago where Lana was training with DB, and she had a hard time folding the ladder.
And putting it into the ring. Definitely.
That's what Mandy had that issue
with the tables.
Mm-hmm. Last year.
Definitely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it TLC last year? Or was it something else? Where she just pulled out the table and the table was beating her up. I don't remember.
So, I'm looking at Twitter.
Twitter!
I'm looking at Twitter. Twitter. I'm looking at
The story of Goldberg is an unbeatable force who only needs 2 moves to win, and that's a story too.
But how is it a story, though?
I agree.
How is it an entertaining
This year's
story?
SummerSlam Mr. G, the Mandy spot.
That's not a story,
Yeah, I knew it was
though.
something. I couldn't remember.
That's not a story. That's just Goldberg beating people week after week.
TL, the tables, ladders, and chair matches pretty much mean, like the whole pay-per-view means nothing now since, like, they always bring out tables, ladders, and chairs and guitars and drums and... What else did they have?
I don't know, man. Okay, this is a good question. Indy Hartwell. She was a jobber and she's now doing something. But do you think it's good for her? The thing about it is, when they use this jobber talent on NXT, I don't understand the point of it. If they're going to actually build these people up, I don't have an issue with it. What Indy Hartwell is doing right now, I don't have a problem with. She went from being a jobber to being squashed by everybody on the roster, which I thought was stupid to begin with, to actually being involved in a storyline, which I think is cool. So, like, I'm fine with her working storylines.
Problem is, you don't have some jobber matches, then you have somebody getting squashed.
So, I don't know.
Mr. J, I would love to hear your opinion on Goldberg, not just Maven's. Goldberg is one of my favorite wrestlers. I should say one of my favorite performers, because he was a terrible wrestler. But Goldberg was one of my favorite performers. I loved Goldberg.
Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the story. Again, it's all about the story. For me,
what?
it's the story. And so when and I've always said this, the story, if they can tell a story when they're doing this stuff, it is a story I'm afraid of, Mini M. It was a massive streak when people were invested in wrestling. A spike pile driver is still more entertaining. Which is why I said, why I said it's about the story. It's the story that's being told. And so when you're telling the story as you go through it, then, again, I don't care. I can watch AEW Dark and go, okay, I don't care about a lot of stuff on there. There's good matches.
Yeah.
But I'm not invested in it because there's no story being told. Unless, sometimes they do pull in some story work from other things. And so I'm just it's the stories that I want to see and I want to hear.
Uh-huh.
And so when WWE right now, NXT UK by far right now from what I have watched over the last several months, NXT UK is probably the best at telling stories in WWE. And they have good matches on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the story isn't there, then for me, I don't care what you do because if there's no story to go with it, I don't care.
Yeah.
And like Goldberg, his whole run was telling a story, which is why I liked it.
Okay. Well, I don't see how it's a story. I don't like it, and I think it's stupid. And I don't want to see Goldberg wrestle ever again. So
Don't let karma enter my house. Futuristic Gamer, karma will not enter your house if you just, like, do things right. Hartwell does scare me, though. They need to take away that mask from her. Goldberg isn't bad. He isn't supposed to look like a wrestler. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. Do y'all think Casey can't... I can't even say her name, so...
Casey Catanzaro, you weirdo. And
Kane Carter...
How can you not say her name?
Well, because it was Casey Catanzaro. Go after the women's tag titles. James,
man.
It doesn't matter. The women's tag titles in WWE are a joke. Just kidding. I never get scared. We knew that Futuristic Gamer. You sat through many screaming. Or ranting. I shouldn't say screaming.
It wasn't screaming.
Yeah. When WWE unified the WWE and World Heavyweight title was dumb, in my opinion, to be honest. Yes. Oh, please, 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 don't let karma enter my house. Not enter in your house ever, 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 ever.
Speaking of in your house.
Don't forget, you can join the watch-along of NXT UK on this channel. Don't forget to sub. That's right. Don't forget your sub. And if you don't like it, the Wild Samoans tell you, put that thumb up, hit that button, and like what you've watched today.
Where was I going with
I don't
this?
like it. Scuff Streamer, you just don't count. Alright? You don't count.
Where was I going with this?
Good night, Hakeem.
Oh, in your house. This Sunday.
In your house.
We are going to be on Gimme Hoya.
We will be with Gimme Hoya doing a show on Gimme Hoya's show.
They have the tweet up, so you can go vote. It's on their page.
I think it's... It might be done. I don't know if Ant had it long enough.
Is it done?
I don't know.
I don't think it's done.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Ant.
I think it's still up there.
Just popcorn the like button. See ya later, Hakeem. Thanks for stopping in.
I don't think it's... I think it's still there.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll look.
I don't want to see the Young Bucks wrestle, but I get why people like it. I hate the flips, but I get to see it say, you don't think Goldberg was telling a story shows ignorance.
No, it doesn't. It shows everybody has different opinions, dude.
Well, I think that's the big thing.
That's what it shows.
So... I swear I didn't plan that comment in chat for in your house.
I'll look at Twitter. Let me look.
I had it long enough. Go...
Oat.
What? Like, Ant, what are you saying?
Go oat.
Oh, a rant is overdue, is it? We
He's
already had a rant, Scuff Streamer. You missed it a couple times.
He's saying go oat.
I like to know how y'all feel about Eric Young being called the world-class maniac.
It's still up there.
Despite...
It's still up for 3 days. You can go vote. It's their pinned tweet. We have 4 different shows.
Oh, it's still up there?
Yeah.
How much time's left?
3 days and 2 hours.
Oh, well, what was I thinking?
It's got 6 votes.
Maybe
man.
I saw the 4 hours and just, like, ignored the 3 days.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You got me.
Yeah.
You got
Go
me.
on Twitter and vote on Gimme Hoya's.
Yeah, Gimme Hoya on Twitter.
For which show we will watch Sunday.
Gimme Hoya on Twitter. If you don't follow them, go follow them. They're great.
They are great. All right, with that, I think we're going to take off. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. We will see you. My aim on Sunday is to get Minnie M and Jeremy friends.
Sorry, dude. I don't know that that's going to happen.
We're taking off. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And I hope everybody stays safe. Wear your mask because it can save somebody's life. Peace out, everybody.